Princess Twilight's Lackey Vacation, Chapter 1, 3 months later. Princess Twilight is sitting by her table looking at the map of Equestria. When it comes to the season of summer, she has a lot planned, but in the month of June, it's always a work in progress. After saving every creature in Equestria months ago, she's still shocked that the Storm King's magic somehow got into Sunset's world. At least she's thankful it's all gone, but on the other hand, she's afraid it could happen again in the future. Hey Twilight, Rainbow Dash opened the door, who's been done doing her flying lessons with the Wonderbolts. You've been in your castle for about all day. What gives? She also took a seat by the map while her best friend makes a response. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything looks safe in Equestria. What makes you think that? Rainbow asks. Remember Sunset Shimmer? Twilight turned her attention to Rainbow. She found another portal on an island and went to Ponyville. Seriously? Rainbow reacted. And your counterpart also with her. Twilight taking her time to finish her words. What? Rainbow shouted with a hoof slam on the table, which gave Twilight a complete reaction. Why didn't you tell me that? I could have talked to her. I'm sorry, it's just we were happy, and when we find out what happened with the other friends, they had to rush back to the portal while using the staff for Santa Claus. You mean the staff you used from the Storm King? Yes, and I made sure it would never have its magic in Sunset's world. Twilight got off her seat by the map and went out the window to look outside. So far, there's no magic involving the Storm King in sight. She's also concerned about the aftermath of what happened in Sunset's vacation. There were like 40 or 50 people Sunset was trying to help by not getting spotted by the citizens in Ponyville. She probably had to do 5 trips in order to do her strategy. Rainbow from behind walked up to her as she looks at the window too. So, you still have no idea where the magic is coming from in Sunset's world? She asked. I don't know, but when Sunset finds out, she'll talk to me. As of now, I'm afraid it could happen again. She lowered her head as she looks at some of the ponies in Ponyville. Rainbow Dash doesn't have a response for Twilight. She always knows how paranoid Twilight can be when crisis interferes. After all the years of going through so many hardships, it's no surprise if that's going to happen again. I think I'm going to go home. Do you need anything? Rainbow asked. No thanks, Twilight responded as Rainbow left the room. Even for other than her time with the Wonderbolts, she also has no idea what she's going to do during this season. Reacting is one thing, but she always does that, and she desperately wants to do something different for a change. Just when she was making her way to the front door, she heard a sound in the library. With her heel on her right raised up, she went to the library and saw Sunset Shimmer walking out of the portal. Sunset Shimmer? Rainbow raised her eyebrow. Sunset didn't actually notice if Twilight's friends were finding her like this. Oh, sorry, Rainbow. I'm going to talk to Twilight about what I'm going to do this week. Is it okay if I can join in on the conversation? I'm bored right now, Rainbow retorted. I'm sorry, me and Twilight are on the same page in this season. We both have 0 plans right now. This gave Sunset an idea. No problem at all, you can join in if you want. They both left the library as they go to Twilight. What? You're going on another lackey vacation? Twilight shouted. Twilight told me she set up another vacation, but this time she made sure it would turn out what it shouldn't have been the last time, Sunset explained. But aren't you afraid Twilight didn't know what to continue with her opinions on Sunset's plans. I already told you, Twilight, as far as I know, all the magic from the Storm King is completely gone in my world, Sunset retorted in annoyance. She also took out a picture while she was on the island with her friends before they used the portal. If it wasn't for Twilight allowing Sunset to borrow the staff that controls dangerous weather and also making portals, their lives would have changed forever. This was after we saved everyone from the cruise. I just think in pure luck we always get equestrian magic no matter where we go. For the first time, we do something different. Twilight looked at the picture closely as she sees all harm is over despite them being on a deserted island. Even after all the trips Sunset had to take in order to get everyone back in the world in a difficult way. I just want to ask, why do you decide to come over to remind us? Twilight asked with her head tilted. Because do you remember your counterpart? Other me? Sunset took time in silence until she finally exposes the truth. She wants you to come along. This made both Rainbow Dash and Princess Twilight in complete shock after hearing Sunset. If she ever thought having humans come into Equestria was more complicated, she's concerned about being in the open with so many people around her. Why does she want me to come? She asked. The thing is, after we got everything back to normal, she told me she wanted to get to know you sometime during the summer, which is this season. And the fact we want this vacation the real opposite unlike last time. Twilight never thought she was needed that involves a vacation where she should be around. Sunset, I would like to come with you, but I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, the last time I went into your world, you were out of town while I was on the beach. People have mistaken me as the other me. But don't you remember that most of the people who just saw you when they got there, I had to convince them that there's another world. The people who worked on the Lackley actually believed me. Rainbow Dash didn't make a sound whatsoever during this conversation. She's surprised and also excited after hearing what Sunset is discussing. And not only that, some of the people at Counterpart remember you since you never had glasses and a ponytail before Twilight got transferred. And not only that, she then blushed while looking away. I really want to spend time with you in my world. This causes Twilight to blush as well, but even more than Sunset. It has been a long time since she was with Sunset for a time during the Siren situation. You really want me to come just like the other me does? Sunset only nodded for an answer to Twilight. An awkward silence happening during this moment between the three ponies. With another Lackey vacation about to happen soon, there's not enough time to rethink about Twilight's decision. Twilight remembered the times she had when she had the free time she had when she was by herself. There was that one time in the week she had no emergencies involving friendship, and she was reminded from her friends that they can help her out during her time alone. She is the princess of friendship, but not the ruler of the land. Sunset, Twilight spoke. If there ain't any consequences, I will go mainly that I've never been on a vacation with your friends. And I want to know some of the people who noticed me, especially the ones I made when I was on the beach. Sunset was relieved. Now all she's concerned is how the vacation is going to be like. Thank you for making your decision. Hey, can I come with you? It would be the best chance for me to meet my counterpart, Rainbow added. No offense, but I'm still off with the idea of you being around, Rainbow retorted. But Twilight, Rainbow said, just let her come with us. Our Rainbow Dash really wants to meet her pony self. Sunset responded. This caused Rainbow Dash to get into Sunset's face in excitement. Seriously? She shouted. This causes Sunset to drop on the floor after that shocking response from Rainbow. Yes, she replied with a hoof checking her earplug. Rainbow is shaking in excitement as if her luck couldn't get any better. I really wonder if she knows anything about the Wonderbirds in her world. You might be disappointed, but the Wonderbirds are the names of our school team. This made Rainbow Dash's ears hang down in shame since that was the number one thing she wanted to know about her human counterpart. Well, that almost ruined my fun. Rainbow Dash, Twilight retorted back. If you really want to come with me on the cruise, don't expect a lot there. But fine, you could come with me since one of her friends did came with her here. She must be disappointed since she never talked to you. Can I sleep in the same room with her? Rainbow turning her attention to Twilight. I'm pretty sure she's willing to allow you to be in her roommate, Sunset added. Oh, I'm still packing for real. She flew up in the air and jet flies out of Twilight's castle with an opportunity to know her human self is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Do you think Rarity is going to make an outfit and swimsuit for her? Twilight asked. Rarity is always fast in fashion. Anyway, everything will be a vacation you're hoping will happen again. Believe me, your other self has plans with you, Sunset smirked. See you when the day comes. Goodbye. I'll try to keep an open mind on that. Twilight waving a hoof as Sunset makes her way back to the portal. As for Sunset Shimmer, she's happy that the Princess of Friendship is taking time off just like last year, but this time a week instead of 1 day. With the amount of friends Twilight had before in her last visit, she hopes she can meet them again. Sunset came back in the library and jumped back into the portal. Once she got out of the statue, human Twilight was waiting in front of her. So you think she's coming with us for a week? So you think she's coming with us for the week, she asked. All Sunset did was nod in response, to which Twilight hugged her in happiness. The Lackey vacation would be better than before, and they hope nothing bad will ever happen. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 2, The Princess's Cruise Apartment. When the day finally came, Princess Twilight and Rainbow Dash got everything set for the cruise ship vacation. Despite Twilight still worrying over what could happen if something went wrong, she was happy her friends would take care of everything. Once they made it through the portal, Sunset led them to Rarity's limo, with the latter already inside waiting for them. Much like Twilight and Starlight before her, Rainbow Dash had a hard time walking on 2 legs. Sunset, are you sure I won't fall on my face without 4 legs? Rainbow Dash said as she tried to keep her balance while climbing into the passenger's compartment. Don't worry, you'll adjust, Sunset answered. Just give it some time. Oh, and your shoes are untied, darling, Rarity added. Rainbow looked at her shoes again and saw that they were indeed. So, is there a reason why we need shoes? Trust me, it took me time to know everything about the rules of clothing. Feet aren't like hooves back home, Twilight answered before turning her attention to Sunset. So are Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, other Rainbow, and other me there? Yeah, Fluttershy texted me she and the others just arrived on the boat, she replied, showing Twilight the message Fluttershy sent. I'm actually surprised I get to hang out with them again after so long. What's the difference between our friends and Sunset friends? Rainbow asked. Well, you might have a hard time getting into the hobbies they do in this world, especially your other self, Sunset commented. Rainbow Dash was excited about meeting her other self soon, but at the same time, she had to learn the activities in the mirror world. She knew she had to make a great impression on her other self with the talent and stunts she does in Equestria and vice versa. Rainbow then remembered, hey Sunset, Twilight told me something about pony up in this world, so how do you do that? Sorry to say this, but now really isn't the time to talk about it. We're going on a cruise for 7 days and your other self might probably explain that to you, Sunset said while she placed her hand on her forehead. Remembering how annoying her friend Rainbow was about them being superheroes. No offense, Rainbow, but your other self almost ruined our vacation last spring. Rarity lowered her head as she tried to not upset Rainbow. Rainbow's eyes went wide open in shock to think her other self did something that made her last cruise vacation a disaster. I think we've been thinking about this way too much, Twilight responded in the stress her friend was starting to deal with at the moment. Rainbow, calm down, everything is going to be fine. However, Rainbow was starting to feel a little disappointed to find out her other self made some questionable decisions during the last cruise. They made it to the ship long before it set sail to the ocean. During the time when the rest of the passengers got on board, Sunset took Rainbow to her room while Rarity took Twilight to hers. Here's your key so you can get in your apartment no problem, darling, Rarity handed the apartment key to Twilight. Thanks, Rarity, Twilight replied as she takes the key. See you later, I'll be by the pool. Rarity waved back as she took her leave. Twilight unlocked the apartment door and entered her room. It had one circle window showing the view of the ocean. 2 beds and the walls were painted in bright tropical island colors. Twilight took a seat at the bed that was the closest to the window and unpacked her backpack she brought along. Even though there wasn't a lot of things she brought for this trip, she made sure to bring her book from Equestria so she could write to Spike about what she's been doing during this vacation. Well, there's no turning back. The boat's about to set sail and the only person I can talk to is Spike. She took a deep breath. This is going to be a long week for me. Then somebody who's also sleeping with Twilight came out of the bathroom. It was human Twilight. She stopped in place when she saw her pony Counterpart for the 3rd time in her life. She slowly walked up to her from behind and placed both of her hands on her Counterpart's eyes. This surprises the princess when her roommate is having fun with her. Guess who's your roommate? Human Twilight giggled as she let go of her and went in front of her. Me. Other me? Princess Twilight smiled. Human Twilight sat by her while she helps the princess unpacking her backpack. I've been waiting for you. If you've been waiting for me, how come you're not in this room? Twilight raised an eyebrow. Well, I was still waiting, but I drank water before I got here, so I had to use the bathroom badly. Human Twilight scratching on the back of her head. It's okay, I do that when I get a little thirsty. The princess laughed at another awkward moment between her other self. With this being the 3rd time she's having a conversation with herself in this world, she decides to show her one of the things she brought along on the trip. She takes up the same blue swimsuit she wore from her time on the beach with her new friends. Although me, before you left to go on tour for your band, Rarity made a swimsuit for me, Twilight said as she gives her the swimsuit to her other self. Wow, this is adorable, and I also brought my swimsuit along so maybe sometime during this week we can go swimming together. Twilight offered while placing her hand on Princess Twilight's shoulder. This moment became more awkward when Princess Twilight blushes more. It's one thing that a hot boy is placing his hand on a girl's shoulder, but a doppelganger made it completely odd. Twilight, are you okay? Human Twilight asks, to which her princess self gets off of her bed. Yes, it's just having you touching me feels really creepy than weird. This made Human Twilight roll her eyes. Okay, I get that we're not on the same page, but don't get caught up with that. Almost everyone on this boat knows there's 2 of us. It's not that, I'm happy I'm here just for you, but I never spent a whole week in this world. Princess Twilight looks out of the window as she sees the gallons of water in the distance. Even though she did went on a cruise in the sky, on the ocean makes her nervous since Sunset told her most of the vehicles in this world are not made from magic. What makes her more worried is the fact if there could be consequences like the last Lackey vacation had. You know something, Twilight? Human Twilight gained attention while her counterpart turns around. I've been paranoid at times, but not the same situations you're in, and I highly doubt the Storm King's magic will ever come back since we sealed it into his staff. Human Twilight then went to her bag and takes out her phone. She shows her the aftermath of the cruise situation when she and Sunset got everyone back in the meal world by Canterlot High. As of now, we haven't got any situation since we went back, and the fact everyone is completely convinced there's another world and they agreed to stay away from Equestria. I'm sure this vacation is going to be normal and exciting for all of us. Princess Twilight thanked about her other self's advice, and while she is still concerned after looking at the photo of people on the cruise safe and sound, she's thinking of talking to some of the people here. Thanks for not showing more stress. I guess we always get stressed no matter what, even though we don't do it at the same time. Maybe any of the activities we can do can calm me down. That's also great because I have a map of the entire cruise. The floors, rooms, and all. During this week we should look at the places if you're interested. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Great, see you by the pool. She then makes her way to the outside open where the pool and her other friends are at. See you soon, little me, Princess Twilight waved back until her doppelganger popped her head back in the apartment room. One more thing, don't call me that. That really makes everyone more confused. Just call me Twilight and that's it. Princess Twilight nodded while also feel embarrassed when she's still saying that to Twilight. As Twilight leaves the room for real, Princess Twilight rolled her eyes to herself. I still think we need to find a way to resolve the name similarities. End of chapter 2. Two rainbows at the pool. While Princess Twilight is getting used to the room she's sleeping in, her friend Rainbow Dash tries to make the best impression for her counterpart. Sunset takes Rainbow to Rainbow's apartment that's all the way down the hallway. Pony Dash is really excited to meet her counterpart in this world to the point she's screaming in her mind. Here we are, Rainbow. The apartment is where your other self is, Sunset said as she gives the Rainbow her apartment keys. Thanks, she replied back. Rainbow went to her apartment door as she's about to use her apartment key to unlock it. However, before she pushed the key into the hall, she stood still with her arm shaking. Sunset took notice as she walks up to Rainbow. What's wrong? Rainbow didn't respond while she's beginning to sweat. Her eyes became watery to the point her heart pounds non-stop, but it wasn't until Sunset pulled her from the door. Rainbow, why are you shaking and sweating? Sunset asked. Okay, the thing is, when I was thinking about talking to the Wonderbolts back in Equestria, before I became one, I always practiced on how I should talk to them, Rainbow explained. Okay, so what's the big deal? Rainbow then placed both of her hands on Sunset. I want to do the same thing with other me, she shouted, which made Sunset roll her eyes. Rainbow, I understand this is going to be the first time you're meeting yourself, but she'll have the same reaction when she talks to you. Sunset grabbed Rainbow's arms to pull her off of her. And besides, you need to get used on how she's going to react since she doesn't know you're here. Rainbow hadn't thought of that her other self would ever have any thoughts of her pony counterpart would ever be part of this cruise at all. During the time she got on board, she was more calm and not more concerned about Equestrian magic unlike last time. And she also wanted to enjoy her vacation unlike last time. Well, if you say it that way, then do I just say hello to her? Rainbow tilted her head. I guess. No offense, but Twilight had reasons when she wanted her other self to come, but we never thought you would come along. Then I'm going to introduce myself in the most uncool way I can think. The only 3 words I really want to say is, just at the time she turned around, making her way to the apartment with a key still in hand, her human counterpart was standing in front of her. Human Rainbow's eyes were the same right size the first time she saw her pony counterpart in Equestria. Her mouth was hanging open in amazement to think this moment would never happen on her second latch vacation. Pony Dash was surprised to meet her human counterpart in the way she's thrilled and not nervous. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, both Dash is squealing in happiness while Sunset is mickling. Just what I thought, Sunset commented. Your other me, the other me I desperately wanted to talk to when I got to Equestria, Human Dash jumping on the floor. I was thinking the same way, Pony Dash replied. I think I should be by the pool. You two should have time alone. Sunset finished while she leaves the 2 doppelgangers in the hall. With the 2 rainbows meeting face to face for the first time, they have a lot of questions for the new but soon to build relationship. Oh, you have no idea I've been dying to meet you. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Oh my gosh, we're so related. Come to my apartment room. Human Dash grabs her pony's counterpart's arms as they make their way to the apartment room. When they unlock the door and enter her room, Human Rainbow and Pony Dash sit on one of the beds. I can't believe you're actually part of this cruise. You're surprised? Sunset Shimmer agreed with me to meet you since it's one of those rare opportunities for cults like me to meet a cool somebody like you. Pony Dash wrapping her arm around her shoulder, which made Human Dash blush. Well, then, for the second time in my life, I met a pony in Equestria, only this time you met me in my world. She giggled as so does her pony counterpart. Anyway, we shouldn't waste time in our room together. Fluttershy told me I should spend my time on the cruise instead of finding Equestria magic. This may point as slightly disappointing hearing that news, but Twilight mentioned earlier to not think too much about it. How about we go swimming together in the pool if I actually have a swimming suit? This gave Human Dash an idea. Wait, after my vacation, I told Rave to make a swimsuit exclusively for you. She gets off her bed and went to a package to take out the swimsuit for Pony Dash. It's a sparkling rainbow colored one-piece swimsuit that also glows in the dark. Trust me, swimming is the only thing that calms me down. Wow, Pony Dash being mesmerized at her swimsuit. I never thought that clothing would be such an important thing in this world, while also being 20% cooler. There's a lot you haven't seen, Human Dash replied with her eyes lit. Anyway, we should change so we can hit the pool together. The two counterparts entered the bathroom to change as they prepared the first moment on the cruise. Everyone but Princess Twilight is by the pool enjoying themselves as the cruise sets sail on the ocean. Sunset Shimmer is in a swimsuit while putting sunscreen on. Is Princess Twilight coming? Fluttershy asks. In a little bit. For right now, I'm going to be in the pool for a little bit. Sunset getting off her chair. I haven't met her since we got to Equestria from the portal on that inhabited island, Rarity added. And the fact we had to sneak in Ponyville, Applejack added. Can we please not talk about Equestria? Sunset asks. Everything is going to be fine. Sure, there's obviously storms we have to deal with, but no magic will ever be the problem with it. Then Human Twilight joins in as she takes a seat by one of the tables with her friends. Twilight is about to be here any minute, she said as she takes a drink of a glass. Sunset, who knows that Twilight isn't aware that two Rainbow Dashes are on board, walks up to her to give her the new information. Twilight, not mean to confuse you, but remember when you wanted me to have Princess Twilight come along on this trip? She recalled as Twilight nodded to answer Sunset's question. Well, some point else wanted to come and Twilight accepted it. This gave Human Twilight a confused look. Who was the some point you're talking about? Then the doors by the table shut wide open as two Rainbow Dashes caught everyone's attention by the pool. Hello people on the queues, Human Dash shouted. We're doing a double rainbow cannonball, Pony Dash boasted. She takes her human counterpart's hand as they rush their way to the pool. They both jump at the edge of the sides and made a double splash in the pool, covering everyone with water in the process. That was awesome, Pony Dash, popping her head out of the water, insulted Human Dash. You mean twice as awesome? She smirked. Oh, I love this cruise. She then hugs her counterpart while everyone else who's been in the pool got out after the unexpected splash. Twilight and her friends made a huge, shocking facial expression with Applejack about to puke due to the sight of two rainbows but rushed to the side and vomits to the ocean. Twilight was about to question why until Sunset confronts her. Everyone on this boat knows about Equestria at this point. Why do we need to worry about this? Sunset asked. Twilight thinks about it and Sunset is right. Even if they never talked to anyone on their way to Princess Twilight's castle, the students of the school finally saw the real reason why Twilight looks completely different before the friendship games. But on the other hand, it's difficult for her to hope she doesn't want anyone who wasn't part of the cruise last time sees her as the princess's twin. You're right, we shouldn't be worried about this, Twilight said. Then, Yanhua Heartstrings, who was in the port and soaked in wetness, walked up to Sunset as she pointed at the two dashes. Isn't she the other egoistic rainbow from Equestria? She asked, which all Sunset did was nodded. Remind her to never do a double splash again. And you think Rainbow was the only person who drives me bragging? Her counterpart is probably more of a show-off than her, Applejack retorted. I heard that, Pony Dash shouted. It's still true, Applejack replied. Outdoors, back in the exposure. Princess Twilight took her time back in her apartment to wear her cruise outfit in the bathroom. Royalty, who made the other Twilight the same outfit as before, her mojo always has alternatives in her mind. What she made for Princess Twilight is almost similar to other Twilights, except the colors are reversed, making pink the main focus of her outfit. It took the princess time until she makes her way to where her friends are at. With the latch a little bigger than the cruise she took with her family back in Equestria, it's going to give her time to understand what this world's activities are on the cruise. She came out of the hallways as she opened the door that leads to the pool along with her friends. I know everyone in this cruise knows me and the other me from 3 months ago, but I still need to keep a normal profile. They don't know me about Equestrian princess work, she thought as she takes a step outside by the pool, making her way to where her friends are at. Twilight, Applejack cheered. You're finally here, Rarity added. Then Pinkie Pie popped out from behind Twilight. Princess Twilight is finally back in our world. She immediately hugs the princess tightly, much to Twilight being unprepared with the hyper-party animal's adrenaline. Just like old times, Fluttershy added. Sunset and the other Twilight felt mostly relieved that everyone in this location isn't aware of the presence of 2 Twilights on board. In fact, back when Sunset was making trips to Twilight's castle, her friends at school were interested into what the princess version of Twilight Sparkle is. They walked up to Princess Twilight with a group hug around her. It's really great you decided to spend the week with us, especially with a lot of varieties this cruise has, unlike our last vacation, Fluttershy replied. I know, I'll make sure I spend the time I have here, the princess giggled. Then she saw her other counterpart standing there with her eyes still lit. I still like her, she whispered to Sunset as Sunset rolled her eyes. After the group hug, Princess Twilight walked up to her counterpart. So, is there anything we can do together? She asked. Actually, as of now, I'm more in a relaxing mood rather than an activity mood. Besides, Rarity, Pinkie, and Fluttershy want to spend time with you when it comes to the stores and dining places on this cruise. But don't worry, I'm gonna join since I want to know everything about you if you know what I mean, she smiled. Princess Twilight blushed at Twilight's interest, while at the same time felt a little disappointed. Then what am I supposed to do? Human Twilight looked around to see if there was anything she and her princess self can do together. She saw those 2 open lounge chairs by 3 girls relaxing under the sun. How about we sit by Laura Heartstrings and her friends for the next 10 minutes? I've been helping unload the other luggages and I'm exhausted. You're right, Princess Twilight agreed. I feel that way after I finished my schedule during the end of the day. Well, it's no surprise you 2 are almost related, Sunset chuckled. Go right ahead. Both Twilight smiled, getting the picture of what Sunset is talking about. They make their way to the lounge chairs, laying on the back of their bodies on the chair as they both look at the cloudy but fresh sky. Human Twilight puts on her sunglasses and gives her spell to her princess counterpart so they can see the sun unharmed. With their bodies underneath the hot and warming sun, the skin slowly but surely starts to get sunburned. Isn't this something you wish would happen after all the work you do as a princess? Human Twilight smiled. So true. It makes me feel more of a tropical girl with no distraction or any crisis ruining my time. The princess's voice became soft and clear the more she lays on the chair more relaxed. Meanwhile, Layla, Dubby, and Vino were hearing what Princess Twilight had just said. Since they noticed what Twilight is and based on her attitude unlike the Twilight they saw every day, their curiosity grew more interest. Excuse me, Layla poked on Twilight's shoulder, which causes the princess to take off her glasses. Layla Heartstrings? She reacted, turning her attention to Layla, and at the same time, Layla blushed. You actually know my name, Layla said. Well, yes. Because... Twilight rolled her eyes smiling. You actually think there isn't another you in my world? Layla's eyes went wide. And how do you know my question was going to involve others, you know, us in Equestria? Then Human Twilight chimed in. Do you even saw yourself when Sunset was helping you sneaking in Ponyville? Oh, then no, I was the one keeping my profile well up by keeping no eye contact on anyone. Sorry, it's my way of safety. Layla closed her eyes in style, acting she expected Twilight to say that despite the fact that Dobby in Vinyl disagrees otherwise. Is my other self more nice and not selfish? Dobby asked. Not really. You and other you are the same, Twilight replied as she turned her attention to Layla again. Anyway, why did you ask me that question? Layla moved her hair out of her direction and returned her smile. When Sunset guided me into your castle, let's just say I was jealous that our lives isn't like yours. You see, we were curious about Equestria, so maybe when you have the interest, can you allow us to meet our other selves? Dobby asked kindly. Princess Twilight is scared about the idea at first, but after what Twilight told her weeks before this vacation, she wants to show her respect to counterparts in this world. After seeing 10 to 60 people coming into her castle, so much was still normal in both worlds became claustrophobic afterwards. You know what? Yes, wherever you're ready after this vacation, remind Sunset so you can go to Equestria. She closed her eyes as she placed her hand on Layla's heart. Great. I'll make sure Bonbon comes with me. Yama chilled while Dobby squealed and Vinyl gave Princess Twilight a huge thumbs up. As they went back into relaxing on the lounge chairs, and 5-year-old with her total plushie in her arms came down the steps as she's about to go to the pool until she stopped in place. It was the same underage girl Princess Twilight took care of while Frost Central was hanging out with her. Water Lily, her mother Victoria walked down the steps. Don't leave me from the apartment. She then picks her up with her arms. Then why does Lily get to go to the petting zoo on her own? Water complained. Because the last time we've been on a cruise, you were by yourself, and it was lucky that Sunset helped you. Lily at least know well to be when she's told to stay away from the flood. While Lily feared of the horrific nightmare she experienced 3 months ago, during almost every night she sleeps in bed, she had the same nightmare during those times. She was all alone without her mother and sister to protect her. You're right. I don't ever want to think that would happen if Sunset never helped me. That's my sister. She placed her back on the ground, keeping an eye on her safety. Just before Lily takes a chance to dip into the pool, she saw the Princess of Friendship still laying on her lounge chair. It's been a long time since the last time she saw Twilight, and it became a miracle for her. She smiled and rushed to the lounge chairs. Waddle, where are you going now? Victoria wondered until she noticed Princess Twilight. Twilight Sparkle! Waddle shouted, which caught the girl's attention. Princess Twilight took off her glasses and saw Waddle Lily walking up to her. Meanwhile, Sunset and her friends got their attention after hearing Waddle called out the princess's name. You look similar if I'm incorrect. Twilight looked closer to the 5-year-old. Don't you remember me? You took care of me on the beach last year. She jumped on the floor. Water Lily? That's me. I can't believe Sunset never told me you're really a princess and not the Twilight right by you. She reacted in shock, noticing Human Twilight sitting by her. Human Twilight, who almost jumped after the shouting, turned her attention on Water Lily. Excuse me? Water Lily finally sees the truth about the two Twilights. She knew the one with the glasses never went to the beach. Princess Twilight decides to fill in for her other self. Okay, I lied to make you think I was the Twilight on the beach, but I was only helping the rain booms. However, Lily wasn't betrayed whatsoever. In fact, she was extremely happy. She jumped onto Princess Twilight and gave her a hug, surprising her. I can't believe you're the Twilight who's been the princess the entire time was on the beach. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. While the princess is taken aback with a sudden hug, her counterpart is admiring this discovery. So when me and Sunset went on tour, you took care of Water Lily. All Princess Twilight did was nod, which made Human Twilight giggle in delight. I gotta say, you're the second best babysitter I've ever seen. She then leans up to her, whispering in her ear, because Pinkie Pie is the best babysitter while you've been gone. Princess Twilight couldn't help but smile with not only the unexpected reuniting from the same child on the beach last year, but also found it surprising of the things she haven't caught up with. With 1 week on this boat, she's hoping she can catch up on any of what happened during her time away from this world. Sunset and her friends found the moment between Princess Twilight and Water Lily heartwarming, especially with Pinkie Pie awing. Aww, Lily
Hats.
Little sister has a babysitter of her own. Pinkie wrapped her fingers together. Am I the only one who wants to catch up on what Princess Twilight is doing? Applejack placing her hands on her hips. You bet, I gotta say, this is the only thing she did in this world upon her return last time, Sunset commented. At the same time, both Rainbow Dashes got out of the pool witnessing what the two Twilights had been doing. Hey, what's going on over there? Pony Dash pointed. A reunion we just witnessed. Rarity also wrapping her fingers together. A reunion we haven't known about until now, Human Dash added. Of course, Fluttershy added. They all decide to walk up to Princess Twilight, who just broke the hug from Waddle, gives her space so she can give her a spot on her chair. So many of the people who are either by or in the pool make their way by gathering around the Princess of Friendship with their thrilled child. With their understanding between both worlds, they want to have some idea who Princess Twilight really is. This has got to be the most adorable thing I have ever seen in my life, Lila commented. Tell me about it. Princess Twilight must be a great role model in Equestria when it comes to friendship, Dobby added. Vela Scratch took off her glasses. Even if she never spoke a lot of words, she found the relationship between Princess and Waddle really mesmerizing. I really found this really uncomfortable, Princess Twilight commented, noticing the surroundings she's in. What's wrong? We all know you're a princess and the fact you're taking care of a 5-year-old, Rarity remarked. Even when you're a princess, we still miss you around, Fluttershy added. Well, I guess you're right. Everyone, especially all of you, learned something about myself, Twilight said while Lily hugs her again. As everyone is enjoying themselves, there was one, however, that wasn't by the pool. Someone came out of the hallways after she used the bathroom, witnessing a large group gathering. She walked up to the group and saw the Princess of Friendship talking about her story with Water Lily on the beach. Hello? She spoke in a kind voice, which made Twilight turn her attention to the dark-haired girl. Yes? My name is Desert Sage, and maybe after you're done, can we have a conversation on the front? No problem. I always have the time for everything. After Princess Twilight accepted Desert's offer, she gets back to her story. Desert Sage's interest. After both Twilights are done relaxing by the pool, they went to the front where Desert Sage and her friend is at. Princess Twilight couldn't believe how expensive this cruise is compared to the one she had with her family. They made a huge clam stage for the Rainbooms to perform the music while food and beverages are on the sides of the decks. Jeez, your band must have got really popular after the times I was in Equestria because these workers really like you. The princess looked around in the amazement. Well, it goes to show how far we have come. We impressed everyone and we continue to do so, Human Twilight smiled. Hey, come over here! The orange-haired girl who's by Desert Sage shouted to get both Twilight's attention. The Twilights immediately walked up to the two girls while they were interested into what conversation they're getting themselves into. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It really means it for me, Desert spoke. Who's your friend? Princess Twilight asked. She's Orange Sunrise. We've been friends since middle school. It's really a pleasure to meet you in person, Orange Sunrise raised her hand up for a handshake from Princess Twilight and she received it. And it's always a pleasure to meet you, Princess Twilight smiled as she let go of Orange. They make their way to the stage, sitting on the edge while Desert brought apple juice, which was part of the beverages. Trust me, from where you are coming from, I'm not part of Sunset School, Desert said as she takes a sip of her juice. Desert is from Appaloosa, which is hours away from Canterlot, Human Twilight explained. Appaloosa? Princess Twilight responded in surprise, which her knowledge of the times she went to Appaloosa in Equestria. Interesting. Have you become friends with Applejack? Unfortunately, no, because I think Applejack left after elementary school. Desert lowered her head. Well, that's disappointing, especially there's no sweet apple acres in this world from what I heard, Twilight replied. Desert and Orange found the words from the princess really amazing from where she lives. Desert has something she wanted to tell the princess when she laid her eyes on her during the brief times she was in Equestria. Sweet apple acres, huh? She commented. Is that a place from Equestria? Princess Twilight nodded. So, is it true that Equestria is a magical place? Human Twilight nodded. Then Desert looked at the ocean from the distance. I was wondering. She took her time because she knows Princess Twilight isn't usually acceptance. You're wondering what? Human Twilight raised her eyebrow. Can me and Orange go to Equestria sometime after this vacation? Twilight remembered what Lyra and her friends told her about going to Equestria, and while she's thinking about it, several more wasn't in her mind. The princess made an awkward look to her counterpart. Well, she crossed her arms thinking about the idea. It's bad enough 60 people got into her castle, but them wanting to see what Equestria is like makes it worse. I'm sorry, but Lyra and her friends want to go there, and I don't want to go overboard with so many visitors. Princess tried scratching on the back of her head. And the thing is, if she does accept that, people would easily confuse you with other you if you know what I mean, Human Twilight added. But do you see us from where you live? Desert replied with a concern on her face. Yeah, is there a way around this? Orange added. Twilight found Desert's point really unexpected. She of course went to all the places in Equestria and she never gets carried away from her memories. Back on the beach last year, she met new faces. People she never saw back in Equestria. To make things more easier, ponies back in Equestria would never find new visitors like Desert or Orange suspicious counterparts since they never saw any pony like them before in their lives. There could be a way since I never saw you back in Equestria, but Lyra and the others, I might have to talk to them again. Princess Twilight poking her chin as she looks at the sky. This made both Desert and Orange smile in excitement. So you're allowing us to come? They both asked. I still don't know for sure. The princess looked at the two who both signed. Girls, I know I've only been in Equestria several times because I was helping Sunset. Human Twilight rolled her eyes. But I know it's not a shadow place. Ponies, they'll know each other so much, I'm sure if they saw you, they will mistake you for someone else. Both Twilights got off the edges as they tried their best to not hurt the two friends. There's some things even princes don't have all the information about populations in Equestria. Then Desert and Orange immediately got off, washing up the two Twilights. Don't be too worried. We'll make sure we won't mistake anyone. Orange getting on her knees. We'll promise our profiles won't be so big. I really want to know what life is at in Equestria, Desert added. This made the princess even more pressured than before. Now 5 people wants to go to Equestria, but she's afraid if any incident happens with them. She tried to think of a better solution to avoid misunderstandings, but she couldn't. Okay, before this vacation is over, I'll talk to you, Lyra and her friends, when I think of a solution to resolve this. But don't get your hopes too high, Human Twilight added. Give the princess some time, she really needs it. After hearing that, Princess Twilight turned to her counterpart, giving her a warm smile. It's nice to realize she's helping her in the predicament she's in. Both Orange and Desert look at each other about the fact that Princess needs time, but they need to know that princesses need so much time with their decisions. Take as much time as you need, we can wait until we head back to shore, Desert happily replied. Orange is mostly speechless, but at the same time her hopes possible going to Equestria are still in question. Thank you. Anyway, we should be going now. Human Twilight took her counterpart's hand. They leave Desert and Orange as they return to the pool where most of her friends are still at. So, do you just want to relax again? Princess Twilight asks as they head by the pool. Actually, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in hours. How about we go to the dining hall? Human Twilight opted. Meanwhile, Pinkie Pie, who's sitting by her table, is eavesdropping on the Twilights. Sure, I'm sure the food will calm me down after the conversation we had a minute ago. Then Pinkie Pie made a huge smile with an opportunity to show Princess Twilight what she did last vacation. She popped behind from the Twilights with a huge hug. "May I join in?" Pinkie asked. "Pinkie!" they shouted in shock. Dining party. The two Twilights and Pinkie Pie left the pool as they walked in the hallway to the dining room. After being on this boat in the last hour when it hit the waters, Princess Twilight wonders what food this place has to offer. "You won't believe what I've been through the last time I was on this cruise," Pinkie hopped. She wanted to be at the buffet because there was a baked chocolate cake puffed pastry made, Human Twilight explained. "Puffed pastry?" Princess Twilight asked with a name like that. Pinkie Pie's eyes turned into sadness. Despite what Rainbow did last vacation, she still felt miserable for not getting the best foods baked from pastry. She wrapped her arm around the princess and pushed her closer to her body. "She is one of the best bakers on this cruise. I've read about it." She stopped herself from walking as she gave a stare to Twilight's eyes closely, making sure her full attention is on her. "I was dying to eat in the dining hall because it was my heaven. I love my heaven," Pinkie shouted from the top of her lungs. The princess hit the ground on the body after the outburst her hyper-party friend caused. Not for long as her counterpart friend took her hand and got the princess back on her feet. "Pinkie, we all know you felt miserable, but I highly doubt no one will stop in your way." Twilight patting on Pinkie's shoulder. "And besides, since puff pastry forgives you for saving her life, our princess will be more than happy to eat." She gave her Princess Twilight a wink which confuses Princess Twilight. "More than happy? What do you mean by that?" "Well..." Pinkie grabbed both of Twilight's wrists as she rushed in the hallways. They arrived at the door which behind is where the dining hall is located. She let go of both Twilights as she gets in front of them with her eyes lit. "Because when I got on this cruise, pastry needed my help too." She opened the door right behind her and invites the Twilights in to decorate the whole dining hall. When Princess Twilight looked around, the windows had tropical beaches and cruises stickers. The walls are painted in pirate ships on the high seas, and the buffet has so much desserts than before. "Oh my Celestia, this looks amazing!" Twilight walking in the hallway. "Why thank you, Princess of Friendship." Pinkie hugged Twilight from behind. "Let's take a seat, shall we?" She leads her friends by a table that's in the corner with a window showing the view of the ocean outside. "Hope your tummies are awake because I'll be back as soon as possible." As the Twilights took their seat together, Pinkie Pie finds someone she met several times after her last vacation. How did Pinkie manage to do all of this even with the cruise's rules? Princess Twilight asked. Like I said, she saved Pastry's life, and from what I heard, she invited Pinkie to her house. Human Twilight said as she looks at her phone. She even texted me something about competing in the team cooking television show. Seriously? The princess tilted her head. I mean, I can understand what TVs are even if I don't have them in Equestria, but teamwork? The two Twilights didn't know a lot with Pinkie's building relationship with a baker they barely know. Human Twilight can understand Pinkie's job at Quinky Dinkwall with her employee friends, but a person who's a chef felt off. Pinkie returned with puff pastry as they carry a grilled chicken and mashed potatoes. "I'm back," Pinkie called. They put the plates of food on the table while they also took a seat. "This is Puff Pastry, the greatest chef on this boat." Pastry accepted Pinkie's introduction for her after the times they met months ago. "I'm one of the employees on this boat, while making the best desserts ever. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I'm going to bet Pinkie told you I'm a princess, right?" Princess Twilight smiling while rolling her eyes. "What's the matter? Don't you like being praised?" Human Twilight added. "She's just out of her element from being in Equestria for so long." Pinkie stared while eating a cupcake. "Then again, I checked what you said. Ponyville, right?" Puffed asked, which Princess Twilight nodded. "And to be honest, I've never thought a place like that would exist." Then Princess Twilight twitched her eye in anxiety. After 5 people asking and begging her to go to Equestria, her stress of thinking about her problem with tones even worse. Puff was surprised at Twilight's facial expression until Pinkie fills in. She's just paranoid of allowing people here to her world. When Pinkie discussed the info, her princess friend's stress melted away, but her eyes went wide. "How did you know that?" Human Twilight asked. "Just a hunch." Twilight would become amazed, but after all the time she hang out with Pinkie, she somewhat understands the hunches Pinkie can predict. "Anyway, don't be concerned. I don't want to go to Ponyville or Equestria itself." Pastry finished. Princess Twilight sighed in relief. "Oh, thank you. I'm having a hard time to think about allowing visitors, and the more I brain, the more chaos could happen." "How about we begin eating our food to get it off our minds?" Human Twilight placing her hand on her counterparts. The moment became soft, thanks to the food they received that had been on the table for the last 2 minutes. They finally begin eating the chicken and potatoes while Human Twilight enjoys it. Her princess counterpart adores it once she tastes it. Back on the cruise with her family in Equestria, she did enjoy the buffet, but it never felt this perfect. She must have thought that humans had better experience on cooking because of the hands being superior to hooves. "I have to know, Pastry, do you prefer hands over hooves? Because your cooking is amazing," Princess Twilight commented. "Hands," Pastry answered. "I don't like being an opponent because walking on 4 hooves gave me a hard time, especially of how chefs can get used to that in your world. It takes hours to handle. I've been there twice," Human Twilight added. "Then I guess we can do better than ponies," Pinkie smirked, until Twilight retorted. "Please don't, Pinkie. You don't understand how Equestria works." Yeah. "Also, Pinkie, since when did you become a teammate with Pastry?" Princess Twilight awkwardly paused a bit. "Because she showed me her cooking experience and I'm amazed. She baked the same chocolate cake I made 3 months ago on our last cruise, and it's just close as good as mine," Pastry said. When Pinkie takes out her phone, she showed the Twilights images of her desserts served to Puff Pastry. Then she slid an image of her and Pastry baked a vanilla cake for a little girl's birthday party. "We got along a lot. So much we agreed to become a baking team called the Party Cakes," Pinkie cheered. "Yeah, I always told Twilight about the idea," Human Twilight reminded. "And I'm sure you're going to win because I've seen Pinkie in my world along with her friends in a cooking competition once," Princess Twilight added. "You always think I win at everything when it comes to cooking." Pinkie lit her eyes again. "Then how about we have that baked chocolate cake I've been dying to eat?" The 2 Twilights agree with Pinkie's idea of dessert. Once they finished the chicken and potatoes, Pinkie put the dishes away, and once she made her way to the buffet, while she knows her guests won't be able to eat all the kinds of desserts, she hopes the chocolate cake will blow their minds. Puff Pastry didn't need any help because Pinkie hasn't able to make her own cake the same as Pastry's. She took 2 slices of chocolate cake and returns back to her table. "Hope you enjoyed Pastry's cake." She placed them in front of both Twilights as she records it from her phone to capture the moment. While Princess Twilight is uncomfortable with Pinkie videotaping, she tries to eat it otherwise. Once the chocolate and frosting make contact with Twilight's tongue, her eyes shot wide with sparkles in her eyes. "Oh my goodness," Twilight reacted. "I guess I should have hung out with Pinkie more. You got through a lot of delicious foods," Human Twilight commented. "Can't say anything more than that," Pinkie giggled. After they finished the slices of chocolate cake, Princess Twilight never felt so calm. Pinkie Pie was right about chocolate cake she'd been hunting last time, and it's only a matter of time her friends try out some of the desserts. Human Twilight paid the bill for the food she and her princess counterpart as they make their way out of the dining hall. "Thank you so much for the food. It was amazing," Princess Twilight commented. "I have to say though, why did you help Pastry with the decorating?" Then Pastry put on her sunglasses. "Because we made an agreement that I take time off, Pinkie is taking over my job. Once she leaves the room, Pinkie has a remote in her hand, which means dining party!" She presses the party button as color lights and music filled in the dining hall. Both Twilights didn't think Pinkie would be able to make Paisley's job more better than before, and at all the times Pinkie threw parties, they decided to give Pinkie her time alone. Even if they're not in the party mood, Pinkie understands they need to look at the other stuff Princess Twilight hasn't seen. They leave the dining hall while Pinkie Pie dances at the beat of the music while the other passengers dance along too. The return of Fashion Tough Love. After the two Twilights returned by the pool, Royalty was about to head to the gift shop to see if there was anything new than the last vacation she had months ago. The workers on the cruise have something brand new with the clothes, and she was hoping she can be amazed again. Human Twilight decided to come with her because she was hoping she could find something for her counterpart to wear something. Royalty is holding both Twilight's hands while they walk together in the hallway. I have to say, darlings, it's an honor for you to come with me to the gift shop, Royalty smiled. Well, I didn't go to the gift shop last time, so I can't wait to see what they have on sale, Human Twilight replied, until she turned to her princess counterpart. Is there anything you want me to buy for you? I really don't know, Princess Twilight said. The gift shop is something I never wanted to go to, considering I barely use a lot of clothes back in Equestria. Any ideas, Royalty? Oh please, Princess Twilight. I'll give you some help when I find something that suits you perfectly, Royalty giggled in style. They made it to the gift shop and it hasn't changed whatsoever the last time Royalty went to it. However, it has some newer clothes, newly designed sunglasses, and fall-proof sea animal chains. Royalty can easily find the perfect outfit for the princess, but she saw a familiar face she saw 3 months ago, and never spoke to him since. Her face was not only full of concern, but also felt ashamed in her heart. She didn't want to talk to him, but he didn't really do anything to her, except make her really betrayed. Just when the two Twilights stepped in the store, Royalty grabbed both of their hands and pulled them away from the boy's view. Royalty, what gives? Human Twilight reacted until Royalty places her finger on the lips. Don't make a sound, Royalty whispered. Why? What's the issue? I'm sure they know who I am, Princess Twilight added. That's not the point. Royalty sighed from her tone. She and the Twilights popped their heads in the store for a little so she can show her what the problem she's dealing with. You see that boy with the white yellowish hair? She pointed at him, who's placing the clothes on the hangers. Is it just me, or is he like Applejack, but as a boy? Princess Twilight focusing on the boy's face and hair. You mean Ragamuffin? Human Twilight added. Royalty again pulled the Twilights away from the store as they sit by the wall. Haven't you talked to him after our last vacation? No, Royalty answered. I mean, I was hoping I would, but he had this accent that was beautiful and charming. She blushed until she closed her eyes. Until he stopped using that accent. Princess Twilight can feel the pain Royalty is feeling. Back on the beach, she met someone she missed. After she saved to cancel out time from the silence, and things changed after that. But unlike him, there's something she needs to know about Ragamuffin. Do you think you want me to do something? Princess Twilight offered, which got Royalty's attention. What do you mean? She wondered. I think she's been in the same situation you've been, I think, Human Twilight added. Sunset told me something about her back at Camp Everfree. She did? The princess responded in confusion. There's a lot you missed, even the littlest things. They get back on their feet, but Royalty stood in place as she refused to see Ragamuffin in the state she's in right now. As for the two Twilights, they always wanted to help the friend who made the best of it by talking to the teen that almost caught her aunt. Ragamuffin is taken over at the cash register as he sorts out the money the customers use. The two Twilights walked up to him, to which Ragamuffin took notice. Well, welcome to our gift shop. Is there anything you two are looking for? Ragamuffin used the same accent he used from before, which made the Twilights realize completely. They refused to question it, because it might have offended to him. But they need to understand why he's going to do that eventually. Actually, Princess Twilight replied, we wanted to have a conversation with you. nothing personal to us, but maybe during your time off, can you talk to someone you met before on this cruise? Human Twilight added. Okay then, how about tomorrow night? Ragamuffin offered. Sure, Princess Twilight accepted. Meanwhile, Rarity was spying on Ragamuffin. She's happy he's going to talk to her tomorrow, but they still need to work out the situation with him. By the way, who is this someone you're talking about? Ragamuffin asked. Rarity, the two Twilights both answered until they both blushed from the awkward moment they said at the same time. Oh, what? Ragamuffin tries to pronounce Rarity's name, but he, with a name with Oz aren't his little words. That popular girl I remembered. She's an inspiration. She sure is. You have no idea, what Human Twilight said. I promise I won't be late. I'm always on time. So do we. Sorry we wasted your time. Princess Twilight finished as she and her counterpart leave the gift shop while Ragamuffin waves back. Once the Twilights got out of the room, Rarity immediately got in between her friends. Thank you so much, she chilled until she turned to the princess. Although I'm ashamed I didn't help you with the shopping. This made Princess Twilight roll her eyes. I'm gonna be fine, there's so much I don't need to use. You'll never know, Twilight. We're making you feel better even if it's a lot, Human Twilight replied. But I never wanted to go shopping. I was only wanted to hang out with Rarity. Touché, Rarity commented. Depression under the night sky. The first night began. As the moon rises in the middle of the sky, all the passengers and workers went to their cabins to tuck in bed to save their energy for the morning. The power supply has more backup unlike last time, so there's no risk of any power outage. The Rain Brooms went to sleep and Poinsettia sleeps in her human counterpart's apartment. They had one heck of a day. After they left the pool, Human Dash showed her counterpart everything in her cabin. The Battle of the Bands, the friendship games. She has a long list she wants her counterpart to know. However, she refused to tell her anything that happened during her last vacation. It's almost 1 a.m. and the cruise on the outside is empty with the lights still on. Pony Dash woke up from her slumber and she knows that her counterpart isn't in bed. She saw that the bathroom is open, so Human Dash isn't using it. Rainbow Dash, she looked around until she got out of bed and went straight to her door. Rainbow gets out of her cabin and went to Sunset's door as she knocks on it. Sunset unlocks her door and got out with her pajamas on. Rainbow Dash, it's almost 1 o'clock. What do you need? Rainbow Dash isn't in bed, Pony Dash explained. She's probably outside, but I promise she's doing fine, Sunset replied. Are you sure? Because she never told me anything about her actions last time you and her got on this cruise. Sunset sighed and depressed. Well, no one got hurt. Human Dash was right all along. I think maybe I should help. You really need to know what happened when things turned ugly. Pony Dash tilted her head in confusion, but she might understand what Sunset is talking about. As they walked in the hallway, they headed to the door that leads to the pool. They got out and saw that Human Dash is laying on one of the lounge chairs. She was staring up the sky with shooting stars that could cause wishes, but Human Dash is too old for that. She's more depressed to even sleep during the night, and it doesn't help stars can make her feel better. Rainbow Dash, Pony Dash spoke, which got her counterpart's attention. Is everything alright? Not really, Human Dash retorted. She then gets up and looked at the distance of the ocean with her arms on the safety bars. Sunset placed her hand on Pony Dash's shoulder. I know this isn't the best time, but you need to know this. Rainbow Dash mostly ruined our vacation last time. Pony Dash taken aback from Sunset's truth about Rainbow's actions. This also caused Human Dash to sign and lower her head with things getting too hard for her. She hoped Sunset wouldn't tell her friends about this, but she had to sooner or later, especially with the time Pony Dash has on this cruise. Pony Dash and Sunset Shimmer walked up to Human Dash, who's still feeling ashamed of what happened. Rainbow, what happened? Her Pony Counterpart asked. She also placed her hand on her shoulder so she can get her attention. I promise I'll understand. Human Dash looked at her friend while Sunset is behind her, waiting for her to speak everything. I checked all over the cruise to see if there was equestrian magic, and I annoyed my friends. I got them kicked out of the dining room, I scared animals, and I even ruined our concert by destroying the electricity. And not only that, she left the cruise by losing a safety boat, Sunset added. Pony Dash was a loss of words. Even she doesn't understand how this world's magic situations work. She felt really shocked. Her counterpart did the opposite of loyalty, one of her main elements back in Equestria. She may not be the smartest male, but she isn't the dumbest. Sunset Shimmer walked up to Pony Dash, trying to make her feel better. Rainbow told me whenever she feels this way, she always goes to her backyard looking above the sky. For what? Then Human Dash turned around, so I can try to not make the same mistake as before. During that night, when I see stars, I see what I can do better by thinking ahead than automatically going forward. You mean relaxing like your friends are doing? Pony Dash wondered. Human Dash nodded but didn't say a word. It may have been 3 months ago, but it still stayed in her head. I mean, I did want to relax, but I was too concerned with equestrian magic. I predicted that the whole cruise ship would sink, Sunset added, and it actually happened because of the Storm Cane's magic. Did you just say Storm Cane? Both Sunset and Human Dash fell on the floor from Pony Dash's reaction. You mean the Storm Cane me and Twilight had to deal with? The two girls who are laying on the ground were stunned to the point they never see a pony so shocked, but really scared. Yeah, after we took care of everyone, Twilight told me the whole story about the Storm King, Sunset said, and I was part of the conversation, Human Dash added as she and Sunset get back on their feet. Twilight told me it was 5 times powerful than equestrian magic, which means both worlds are connected, Pony Dash asked. Human Dash and Sunset looked at each other with awkward looks until they turned to Pony Dash. We don't know, they both replied. But that's not the point, Human Dash retorted. The point is, I'm not feeling any better of myself from what I did. But at least everyone forgave you, and the fact you actually saved their lives from drowning, Sunset commented. Okay, I guess that's something. As for Pony Dash, she was upset, but after hearing the word storm came, she would do the same, but not completely. When she was with her friends in the land of Equestria from a storm came's wrath, they were defenseless. It would have been the end for them if they failed, and what Rainbow Dash did was the most irony Pony Dash had seen in her life. She gave her human counterpart a hug, much to Human Dash and Sunset's surprise. I'm not mad. I'm just glad you did something I would have done, she smiled. Like ruining people's vacation? Human Dash making a dumbfounded facial expression. I think what she means is she saw that the Storm King's magic could do if it was just equestrian magic. You will probably be hated in school, Sunset corrected. You're talking about the Storm King? Yes. Pony Dash breaking the hug. I will go on and on about how serious that is, but I don't want to waste our vacation time, even if it's nighttime right now. But I'm still not feeling good, okay? That's why I'm outside. Pony Dash almost forgot about that, but didn't change her relief. Don't worry, I can try to make you see something you might enjoy of what I do. Are you going to tell Twilight about Equestria? Sunset retorted. You know she isn't running as a tourist. No, I'm aware of that. I can tell her something that could make the best sports athlete way better than before. She gets up to Human Dash's face with her eyes lit in a cute smile, letting her know everything about the Wonderbolts. Human Dash never heard anything about the Wonderbolts before, and it's going to blow her mind for the rest of her life. And as for Sunset Shimmer, she knew the Rainbooms wanted all the time for themselves, so she headed back to her cabin. It's going to be a long night for them. The Wonderbolts are going to make my friends stay in the morning. Fluttershy's Yacht Sanctuary. The first morning of the cruise began, but people woke up earlier than expected. The workers on the cruise reopened the shops and other rooms at 5 in the morning. They do this to avoid any huge crowds filling the hallways, while passengers don't get in the way. And when it comes to the number of activities, they don't want anyone to miss out what they paid for. Hey Twilight, wake up! Human Twilight tries to wake up the Princess of Friendship while Fluttershy is by the other side of the bed. Twilight, please wake up, Fluttershy said kindly. Princess Twilight's eyes slowly opened up until she lifted her body up from her bed. Why do you wake me up so early? She yawned. The petting zoo is open and the animals there are amazing. Why can't we wait till later? You know I'm having a hard time to get myself awake after the walk I did. Human Twilight then gets a bottle of water from her cooler and gives it to her counterpart. Even when Princess Twilight sleeps, she gets exhausted when she tries to be motivated for the day. If we don't hurry, we won't be able to see what Fluttershy can do with the animals, she replied. Unfortunately, Princess Twilight already knew Fluttershy is good with animals. Out of all the places on this boat, the petting zoo was the last place she wanted to go to. But at the same time, her shy friend will always feel sad if she doesn't go with her to the zoo. She moved her blanket while she moved her legs to the side, standing up from her bed. Okay, we can go. Her friends smiled at each other. People, especially Princess Twilight, always gets in a grumpy mood once they're up from bed, but later they're soon to get into their normal attitude. After they wait for the princess to get dressed in her uniform, they leave their cabin and headed to the petting zoo. Like the gift shop, the zoo itself remains the same as it is. The center has the birds inside their glass set, the bunnies are sleeping inside their mini houses, and the sheep are playing around in the room. The Twilights and Fluttershy came inside and like before, Fluttershy instantly adores the animals around her. She takes a seat on the blue couch where the number of colored sheep are at. With no situation at the moment, she places her hand on one of the sheep. Aren't you and your friends just lucky to see me again? She spoke to the pink sheep, which it licks Fluttershy's hand. Well, I guess I'm right, as she looks at her hand. Meanwhile, Princess and Human Twilight are looking at the birds inside the glass wall. Do you have another pet? Human Twilight asked. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, she's an owl, Princess Twilight answered. She's called Owl Wishes. That's a really nice name, but for me, I can't replace Spike. You're not replacing him. But that's what he thinks if I ever get another pet. He's always a little jealous, the princess guessed while giving an eyebrow. Yes. They didn't know what to expect from what they're going to say next. So many awkward moments they have between them, but at the same time they never discuss anything new from the other. Their mind on animals is something they wanted to show Fluttershy their friendship to her. The only thing the Princess of Friendship doesn't know from her is her powers, other than her ability to talk to animals. Hey Fluttershy, Human Twilight called, which got her animal lover's attention. What is it? She asked. Can you show Twilight your magic ability on the animals? Fluttershy looked in all directions in the room. Even if the employees are okay with the Waybrooms using the magic, she's still afraid of a mistake she might cause. Her joy glowed and sparkles as she looks at the birds. The magic caused two of the birds to fly out of the glass when Human Twilight opened the safety door at the corner of the glass. What are you going to do with them? Princess Twilight asked while Fluttershy picks up the two birds with her hands. Then she finally makes them fly behind the Twilights and pecked at them on their backs. Oh, yes, that feels wonderful, Human Twilight moaned. Princess Twilight never got her back of her body this pure to make her fall into slumber. You're right, Fluttershy, you're the... Just when she was about to finish her sentence, she lays her body on the couch with her counterpart, while the birds continue to peck faster. Fluttershy has her hands wrapped behind her back. I know, Twilight, the best girl who takes care of animals. Soon the two Twilight's eyes slowly closed up. Their bodies were unable to beat the pecking from the two birds as they continued to sleep. I guess waking up Oreo was a good idea. Now you're sleeping in my sanctuary. Fluttershy lit her eyes. Then two little girls make their way to the zoo. One of them saw the rain booms from time to time. The other girl was another someone Princess Twilight met on the beach last year, and she's Water Lily's sister. So Lily, what do you want to do in the petting zoo? Her friend Technicolor Waves asked. Play with the sheep in there. I love sheep and how different their colors are compared to normal ones. Lily smiled. As they entered the zoo, Lily stopped before she was about to play with the sheep. Not only is she surprised to see Fluttershy and Human Twilight in this occasion, but she's shocked to see Princess Twilight again. Twilight, she shouted, which caused the two Twilights to wake up from the couch. The two birds was about to fly from being disturbed, but Fluttershy uses her powers to flow them back in the glass while she closes the safety door. Did any Equestria magic damage the cruise? Princess Twilight reacted. Actually, one of these two little girls called your name, Fluttershy corrected, and I'm feeling to go to sleep afterwards. Human Twilight placing her glasses back on. Once the princess saw lily pads again, she made an embarrassing smile while trying to fix her hair. Oh, sorry, we just got up early, she giggled awkwardly. So do we. It's what my mom always says. You get more time if you wake up earlier in the morning, Technicolor added while she wraps her arm around Lily. She's right. Are you going to do something on this cruise? Lily asked. Just when Princess Twilight was about to answer Lilypad's question, her human counterpart fills her in since she hasn't seen everything of what this cruise has. Well, she doesn't have any because I'm showing her the activities. And this is her second day, so she hasn't made her decision of what she wants to do, Fluttershy added. They're right, the princess signed. I know you want me to play with you, but I'm still getting used to what this cruise has. I haven't been in this world for a long time, and last year was just a coincidence. Both Lily and Technicolor felt a little sad, especially Technicolor Waves when her friend told her about Twilight back on the beach. Lilypad never understood what princesses are during her time in Equestria when she was with Sunset and Yellows to get back to safety after the whole cruise destruction months ago. Okay then, but maybe later. Can we? I have other friends who want to meet you. Yes, we will. Just make sure your friends are patient. We've seen your castle. They're more than respectful to understand your life, Technicolor added. Princess Twilight then turned to Fluttershy. No offense, Fluttershy, but I still need some rest. I'm still tired. Well, you might need to rethink that, Fluttershy said while acting unsure. Then they heard a noise in the hallways and soon it started to pick up. Human Twilight looked in the hallways and was surprised to see a crowd of screaming children. We need to head to the pool. We might get ourselves stuck in here if we head back to our cabin. Human Twilight grabbed her friend's arms as they rushed out of the petting zoo. All the kids came in the petting zoo as it's completely filled with all the animals took notice. On second thought, I'm starting to miss the times when I woke up so soon and I couldn't get out of the crowd, Princess Twilight thought. I sometimes forget I was an ordinary pony like everyone else. Trixie on stage. Princess Twilight has mixed opinions on some of the people she missed when she was away for so long. Not that she's sad, but when it comes to her free time on the cruise, she at least needed to be occupied. Luckily for her, Sunset always wanted to hang out with her, and she found the best place for it. Sunset and Human Twilight guide the Princess of Friendship in the hallway that leads to the theater. I can't believe this cruise has a theater, Princess Twilight commented. You should understand that this world's idea of cruise can add more, thanks to technology, her human counterpart replied with a smile, and the fact that the theater is the size of an auditorium in a middle school, Sunset added. I don't know, I guess technology can't do anything the more I think about it, Princess Twilight scratched on her head. Didn't you tell me that you had a lab before you got your castle? Sunset asked. The princess rolled her eyes, while also making an awkward look. Well, let's just say I pick magic spells over science. This made Human Twilight glare at her due to her love of science. What did you say? I just didn't want other ponies like Piggyback to get... Alright, Sunset breaking the two Twilights apart. I know you can be twins, but even twins don't agree with each other when it comes to hobbies. Now, can we please enjoy our vacation by going to the theater? One of my friends are in there. The Twilights didn't like the real opposite of their related hobbies, but at the same time, it was the slip Princess Twilight didn't mean to hurt her counterpart. But as for human Twilight, she might have a war with her princess friend Leia. They made it to the door where the theater is at. Sunset Shimmer opened the door and got the Twilights in. The theater remained as it was before, but it's still one of the best places on the cruise. Oh my goodness, Princess Twilight looking in her surroundings. My theaters back at Equestria don't look this amazing. Budgets are always important, but years later, use it on everything for style, Sunset lit her eyes. They went to the section that is in front of the stage so they can have a closer look. When all three girls took their seats, Princess Twilight wondered what Sunset is talking about. She told her about her friends, but the others, except the two Rainbow Dashes, who are still in the bed or in their cabin or by the pool. It wasn't long until the person who's showing off her talent on stage knows Sunset and her friends are here, and it's none other than the great and powerful Trixie. Hello, my friend Sunset, Trixie getting off of the stage. Princess Twilight was shocked to see Trixie as Sunset's friend. The last she met her was back during the Battle of the Bands when she was her enemy in her band. Nice to meet you, Trix, Sunset shaking Trixie's hand. Wait, you're friends with Trixie? Princess Twilight asked. Yeah, I had a hard time when she told me that, Human Twilight added. Twilight, Trixie pulled the princess out of her seat and gave her a hug. It's been a long time since I last saw you. Since when do you become friends? The princess looking at Sunset. Well, during the whole Memory Stone situation, I thought she had the stone, but she didn't have it, Sunset explained. I don't want to go in further detail. Trixie has a show to entertain us. Trixie broke the hug as she poses herself in her pirate costume. Because I, the great and powerful Trixie, shall entertain the passengers on the high seas by practicing my lifting powers. Do you mean telekinesis? Princess Twilight tilted her head. No offense, but that has nothing to do with your magic tricks. This caused Trixie to get into Twilight's face. Liar! When I was doing magic tricks, I lifted Spike and my equipment up in the air on the street. She took out a photo from her pocket and showed it to Twilight. Twilight looked at the image closely with Spike and others from Trixie's magic trick when she was about to slice the dog in half. She was surprised, but unfortunately, it didn't convince her. Hey Twilight, are you sure Trixie is telling when Princess Twilight turned to her counterpart, she was gone and nowhere to be seen in the theater? Twilight? Must have went to the bathroom, Sunset noticed. Anyway, we shouldn't waste our time for the bookworm. I'll prove it and your mind will be blown, Trixie boasted. Despite feeling confused from her counterpart's disappearance, Princess Twilight sat back down and so does Sunset. Trixie got back on stage as she prepares for a demonstration. The objects she has around are dolls of different kinds of savage pirates. With Twilight and Sunset paying attention on Trixie, Trixie stretched her arms in the air. She knows her hands need to be ready for this moment to be believed in front of people like Princess Twilight. If any enemy gets in my way of stealing my treasure, they shall feel the wrath of my gang of ruthless pirates. Trixie waved her hands to make all the dolls float in the air. It took 20 seconds, but nothing happened. Trixie, Twilight called, don't you think several dolls around you is— Don't judge my strategy. It's still a work in progress, Trixie retorted. Twilight kept her mouth shut as she tries to keep her attention on the magician. After 10 more seconds, the pirate dolls slowly float off the ground. Soon they settle around Trixie, which gave her a snarky grin. Princess Twilight's jaw dropped while Sunset rolled her eyes. Sunset, when was the day Trixie did this? Twilight asked. Not long ago, Sunset replied. And to wrap up Trixie's trick, she has a battle cry for her imaginary enemies when she's on her own ship. You mess with my booty, my pirate grand will take over your boat as the great and powerful Captain Trixie will steal your booty. Then, a water sprinkling on the edges spray on Twilight and Sunset much to their surprise. The dolls then landed back on the ground as Trixie is proud of her telekinesis. Now, how's that for blowing your mind? I guess, Twilight giggled. Why do you spray water at us? Sunset looking at her wet uniform. I want to make my performance 4D. That will be easier for anyone on this boat to feel my experience, Trixie boasted again as she gets off from the stage. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go to the dining hall and have myself a victory breakfast. You should, but just letting you know, 4D won't make passengers leave because they don't come here for living the high seas since they already have. Trixie pointed at Sunset with her finger. You haven't seen the other tricks I can do. 4D is life. After that statement, she leaves the theater and makes her way to the dining hall, and during that time, Human Twilight finally returned in the theater with her eyes lit. Twilight, you missed Trixie's telekinesis, Princess Twilight called. Why do you have to use the bathroom? I didn't use the bathroom. She placed her hand on her hip. I was behind the curtain doing this. Her finger went up and down with sparkles coming out of her joint. The pirate dolls went back in the air, which told the whole story behind Trixie's magic trick. So, Trixie never lifted Spike or those dolls? Princess Twilight witnessing the truth. Sunset wants me to respect Trixie by going behind her back and using my telekinesis. She then stopped as the dolls land on the floor. Am I supposed to feel happy or... Twilight, Sunset wraps her arm around Twilight's shoulder. This is our way to show friendship to Trixie. We all know she will never do that for the attention she demands. And besides, if she finds out, she will go back to being our enemies again, Human Twilight added. As much as I like to show off my powers when she's doing her tricks, she might get revenge if she finds out. Princess Twilight may never have met Trixie a lot in this world, but since she's Sunset's friend now, she should respect her. Okay, I guess you two have a point. Maybe when I'm in the mood of swimming in the pool, I can ask her if she can join me. That will make her like you better, Sunset replied. We should go now. Yeah, we should relax with sunscreen on, Human Twilight offered. The three girls leave the theater as the mindset of Princess Twilight's new thoughts on Trixie began to grow. Now that she's knowing most of the people on this boat, she might be able to remember the ones she wants to hang out with, and Trixie is one of them. Double the rainbows, twice the bad luck. The two Rainbow Dashes stayed up last night due to the conversation they had about the Wonderbolts. Human Dash wanted to know everything and her pony counterpart gave her all the information. They fell asleep at 4 in the morning on the second day on the cruise. With Pony Dash sleeping in a respective mattress, Human Dash read a book about the history of the Wonderbolts, and by the time she got to page 10, she fell asleep. Her interest was so high she didn't care if she stayed up all night, but her human body couldn't take it for that long. Ugh, Pony Dash moaned. She got out of bed and checked her clock. When she saw it was 10:30, she was shocked. Oh my gosh, we missed breakfast? She looked out her cabin window and saw that the sun is in the middle of the sky. She turned to her counterpart and noticed she's still sleeping in her bed, with the Wonderbolt's book open on her face. Rainbow Dash, Human Dash opening her eyes, witnessing the book covering her face. What time is it? 10:30, she answered. Human Dash wasn't even surprised nor shocked. Really? Aren't you upset that we missed breakfast? Human Dash got out of bed as she makes her way to the bathroom. Sort of, but during vacations or weekends I wake up late, she replied as she puts on her Q's uniform. Do you do the same thing? Well, when I'm not doing my duties as a Wonderbolt, yes. I don't usually have a lot to do other than relaxing during my free time. While her human counterpart is still unflinched, she at least has some differences from her pony friend, even with the minor things. For the next 5 minutes, the two Dashes got in their uniforms and went in the hallways. So you do want to get something for lunch before we meet our friends? Human Dash asked. Sure, bet the food will keep my mind off of missing breakfast, Ponydash said. Before they found a location to the dining hall, someone was kicked out from breaking the rules. Human Dash remembers him as the most laziest teen in Canterlot High. He wasn't part of the last cruise due to his immature ways, and the reason he's part of this cruise, his sister Fluttershy paid for his cabin. Human and Ponydash got out of the way, hiding to prevent any interactions with him. Zephyr Breeze is on this cruise, Ponydash whispered loudly. You know him? Human Dash whispered back. Yes. Just when things couldn't get any worse, Zephyr Breeze turned around and spotted the two Rainbow Dashes. Hey, Rainbow Dashes, my girls, he acted casual, which made the two girls moan in annoyance. Oh no, here we go, Ponydash retorted. Zephyr washed up while being cool. You know, I would have fainted seeing two Rainbow Dashes, but I remember one of my friends told me about Equestria, right? Human Dash face palm herself. Why, out of all the people who wasn't on the cruise 3 months ago, why tell your brother Fluttershy? Ponydash is gritting her teeth back in the whole world. She can't stand Zephyr's attitude, and it doesn't change the fact there's another counterpart who's just the same as him. Okay, yes, there's Equestria where I live, but it's not the place where you just can easily come in, unaware, and out in the open, Ponydash reacted. Yes, what other me said, Human Dash added. Don't worry, Sunset told me everything, but that doesn't mean we don't have quality time for the three of us. Just when he was about to wrap her arms around the two girls, they got out of his way. Let me give you two things about this second cruise vacation, Ponydash added. One, we never wanted to hang out with you because of your wishes. And two, me and other me want some time alone, Human Dash added. Now can you please get out of our way? We missed breakfast this morning. Zephyr, being his own cocky ways, isn't allowing the two rainbows to get through him. How about we race to the pool first? You know, since I'm in my swimsuit. We're not even in our swimsuits! Then Human Dash got an idea in order to get Zephyr out of her way. She whispered to her counterpart's ear to discuss the plan in their situation, to which Ponydash liked the idea. They gave Zephyr the seductive expressions. Sure, and how about we take a group picture, Ponydash offered. Besides, if we do so, you're getting your wish, Human Dash smiled. Zephyr grinned with the opportunity to hang out with the two Rainbow Dashes with a group picture. Well, why not? You two changed into your swimsuits then. It's okay, we don't have to waste any more time to miss our lunch. Love the idea. The two Rainbow Dashes and Zephyr Breeze are squatted down as they wait to run to the pool. 3, 2, 1, go! Ponydash shouted. While Zephyr had a head start for the race to the pool, the two Rainbow Dashes didn't move a muscle. Instead, they were relieved that Zephyr is away from them for a while. Thank Celestia that worked. I know, if we ever encounter him again, I'm telling Fluttershy to bring someone else instead of her brother for the next vacation, Human Dash commented. With that, they went to the dining hall to have lunch. As for Zephyr Breeze, he didn't notice that he's the only one running by himself. He opened the door that leads to the pool and made a camper, causing a huge splash. He then takes a picture from his waterproof phone and is soon realized he's all alone. Not to mention most people by or in the pool were annoyed. They then gave Fluttershy, who saw the whole thing, a glare which made her sign. Should have taken Tree Hug with me, she said to herself. Jack's seasick problem. The sun begins to set on the end of the second day on the yacht. Princess Twilight and her counterpart did very little, since most of their friends either went shopping or went to the petting zoo. Human Twilight had few plans on the activities for today, even with her 1-week vacation. She may have so much to show her princess counterpart, but that's for the later days when it comes to planning schedules on the cruise. The two Twilights are making their way to the pool after they ate lunch from the dining hall. So, is there anything you want to do? Like go swimming? Human Twilight asked. Not really. I'm still not in the mood, Princess Twilight replied. Can we find what Applejack is? I haven't seen her since yesterday. Human Twilight didn't respond to our counterpart's question. Even after her last vacation, Applejack didn't change her issues when it comes to our time on the cruise. Once they arrive at the pool, Human Twilight takes the princess to where Applejack is. They went up the stairs to where all the safety boats are at. Princess Twilight saw the cowgirl's face turn light green while placing her hand on her stomach. "Applejack," Princess Twilight reacted as she rushed up to her, "you don't look so good." Applejack tries to put her attention on the Twilight she hasn't talked to in a long time, but she's about to throw up again. "Twilight, don't you think you should sleep in your apartment?" "She can't because she's seasick," Human Twilight added. "Seasick?" Princess Twilight turned around. "My friend Applejack from Equestria was never like that." Applejack then placed her hand on Twilight's shoulder, which surprises her. The cowgirl tries her best to speak in words despite her seasick problem. "Let's talk about this in my cabin." Applejack and the Twilights are in her cabin. It's the only place where Applejack can feel better when she isn't outside of the cruise. The Twilight sit on Rarity's bed while Applejack is sitting on hers. She's getting over her seasickness a tiny bit as the conversation begins. "So you tell me that other me doesn't get seasick?" Applejack asks, to which Princess Twilight nodded. "She must feel lucky whenever she goes sailing with you." "How does she feel lucky? Just because she's you doesn't mean she's related to you 100%, Princess Twilight said. "Ain't that the truth?" Human Twilight added. "Well, for me, I haven't felt so seasick in a long time." Then Applejack begins to vomit until she placed her hand on her mouth. "Since when did you become seasick?" Princess Twilight commented while she witnessed the sickness of her cowgirl friend. "It all started when my parents took me to a boat during a vacation out of the country. It was the first time I ever went on a boat when I was 7. As Applejack discussed her past, she takes out apple cider for himself, opening the cap from the top and took a sip of it. "You were 7 when you were on a boat?" "Yes, and it was the only time I ever went on." This made Human Twilight gasp and shocked. "Wait, so this is actually the 3rd time in your life you've been on a boat?" This all made Applejack nod as she continues her story. "Minutes after my dad turned on the boat, my stomach started to feel odd. It got worse when we began to sail in the ocean. Miles away from shore, the boat began to shake constantly, which made me..." She stopped herself, since it was embarrassing on what she did during the whole trip. She was vomiting the whole time. It would make her friends confused. "It made you what?" "Let's just say it was a long ride." After her story was finished, the Twilights became surprised. It took so long for them to know why Applejack became seasick, and ever since then. "If you're really seasick, then why did you come with us on this vacation? And the last vacation?" Princess Twilight asked. "Because I don't have plans when I'm alone. I have to try to get used to my problem while enjoying the cruise with you girls." After she took another sip of her apple cider, she lays on her pillow to get some rest. As for Princess Twilight, she wonders what she can do with Applejack during her time in the cruise. But with the looks of what's going on, she has to change plans for herself. However, that doesn't stop her from helping her friends. She gets off of Rarity's mattress and sits by Applejack, which caught her attention. "Applejack, it's nice that you decided to come with us, but you didn't have to." "What do you mean?" "When me and my friends went on missions before, and not every one of my friends came along. Yes, this is a vacation, but if you remind the others about your past, they might understand about your seasickness." When Human Twilight agrees with her counterpart, she fills in for her. "It's true. If you're going to remind us that you're seasick, the very least you should tell us about what happened. Besides, we could easily FaceTime through our phones." Applejack is starting to become more better from the advice the Twilights gave her. When she's upset about her seasickness, she got the idea to tell her friends about it. She slowly gets up from her pillow and gave Princess Twilight a hug. "It's great that you decided to come along with us. It actually makes me miss you this whole time," Applejack smiled. This made Princess Twilight's heart warm in delight. While she did have those feelings from Equestria, she didn't have a lot of those in such a short amount of time. "Thanks, Applejack. Maybe when I return, we can do something together. I really hope we do. After they broke the hug, the Twilights make their way to the door as they leave. Just when human Twilight was about to close the door, she pops her head in Applejack's room to remind her of the plan they're setting up for the princess friend. Remember, we're throwing a pool party for her tomorrow, right? She asked. Applejack gave her a thumbs up. Yes, I'll be there. Human Twilight blinked and smiled as she closes the door behind her. Just when they're about to do something else, they heard a helicopter outside, which made human Twilight excited. Oh, Rosalind Nobel is here. Rosalind Nobel? Princess Twilight asked. This made her human counterpart grab her hand and lead her to where the helicopter has landed. Another space relationship on deck. After the two Twilights went outside and watched by the pool, they went to the shell stage, and right behind it has a helicopter that just landed. Not only that, the front of the cruise had several tables filled with drinks and foods. While the Princess of Friendship is confused on what's going on, her counterpart is so ready to introduce one of her favorite idols in this world. What's going on here? Princess Twilight looking at the scientists walking from the shell stage behind. Rosa Nobel is going to be here for the night. I met her back from the planetarium and it was a blast, human Twilight squealed. Princess Twilight wanted to respect her counterpart's hobbies, but from her times in Equestria, she never had an idol who admires the wonders of space. She may have a telescope back in the Counterpart to look in the sky during nighttime, but no one ever inspired her to look at shooting stars. Twilight, I want you to understand that I don't have an idol like yours. While it's nice that Rosalind is going to be here, it still makes me feel blindsided, the princess making the concerned look. I'm sorry, yesterday was so stressful I forgot to mention you about Rosalind's appearance. Human Twilight came to the realization. Do you really want to talk to her? Well, aren't you aware that she's finding something suspicious about me, like mistaking me as your twin sister? This made human Twilight even more worried. Everyone who's on this cruise know what Equestria is, but only the people on the cruise. Outside of the events from 3 months ago, it's still a mystery on the idea that there's another world other than theirs. Sunset Shimmer was lucky that her strategy to get all the passengers and employees back in the mirror world, even if it requires to sneak into Ponyville. The idea to have people know about our counterpart would take a long time to explain. With all the scientists arriving in the area, it's only a matter of time for Rosalind to arrive. Then human Twilight got an idea. It may be hard to make Rosalind understand, but it's the only option she has. Let's go to our cabin first, she replied. Why? Princess Twilight said. You need to change out of your uniform and into a dress of who you really are. The Princess of Friendship didn't understood what her counterpart is talking about since she didn't answer her question, but her counterpart is taking a risk. Her risk is to have her counterpart meet her idol, just like she had the chance to meet Rosalind, and it's not going to stop her. She takes her counterpart's hand, and they went back to their cabin for the princess to change. Half of the sun is now above the ocean, with the sky around the cruise is now orange. With the party for the scientists still going on, Rosa Nobel has finally arrived after she put on her makeup. As usual, she's enjoying herself by talking to all of her scientists who help on her research of galaxies and shooting stars. She and the others will go around the latch later to see the theater, where Trixie is performing while also watching a science fiction movie about galaxies. It took time for human Twilight to get her counterpart into her dress. By the time they get back to the party, Princess Twilight hides from getting caught. While she found the idea to show off her true identity a good choice, it still works that might backfire. I want you to wait until I'm done with the talking, human Twilight warning her friend. Her counterpart nodded while she feels uncomfortable in the dress she's wearing. Human Twilight enters the party while guests recognize her from the planetarium when Rosalind talked to them. They found her really respectful with the knowledge she has about planets and such. Just when Twilight was about to make the first move of speaking to Rosalind, but when Rosalind was about to get another drink, she makes the first move. Twilight Sparkle, Rosalind called out loud, which made the rest of the scientists turn to the bookworm. Twilight began to sweat while blushing that there's no turning back now. I didn't know you were on this cruise. Well, you know what they say, Twilight awkwardly smiled. You come across so many stars you remember to the most. Rosalie laughed from Twilight's joke, which also made Twilight laugh a little, even though it made her more worried about her plan. So, Leo, me and my scientists are going to watch a movie in the theater about planets. Care to join? I would love to, but there's something I need to show you first. Rosalie was confused. During her time with Twilight after they interact for the first time, she knows how smart and less shy when she talks about her interest in science. She didn't know how desperate she is when she wanted to meet her in person, so it wasn't new for her. What do you want to show me? She asked. Twilight sighed as it's time to take the risk. With no turning back now, she turned around and called, "Come out here!" When Princess Twilight heard the cue, she didn't want to be in the open with different people that aren't part of the cruise from before, but she has no choice. She slowly entered the party, with everyone looking at her. The dress she's wearing instead of her cruise uniform is a far formal dress she used when she's trying to win the crown in Canterlot tie. Her counterpart's ideal is to show that she's a princess and not a person who lives in this world. Most of the scientists became shocked that they're seeing another Twilight who's like a twin sister, except without a ponytail. Rosalie Nobel dropped her cup in speechlessness when she laid her eyes on Princess Twilight in the dress she has on. It didn't give her the image she knew about Twilight when she met her. As for human Twilight, she waits until her counterpart makes her way. I'm so going to regret this, Princess Twilight thought while with her heart pounding non-stop. With so many people staring at her, nothing can make her feel so freaked out on the inside. When she finally stopped in place, she looked at Rosa Nobel, who's still shocked. Hello, she awkwardly waved. Twilight, is this some kind of prank? Rosalette said. No, and she isn't my twin sister, human Twilight signed. Twilight, just tell her who you really are. Princess Twilight gulped the saliva in her mouth. Now it's her that needs to do the talking. Despite feeling scared and anxious, she explains what's going on at the moment. I'm from Equestria, which is a world populated with creatures. As in animals, a guy with glasses asked. Yes, I'm a pony who's a princess. After that quote the princess made, most of the guests spoke to each other in surprise, with them mentioning she's a princess based on her dress. If you want to know why I'm here, it's because everyone on this cruise knows who I really am and they're okay with it. I made the decision to come on this vacation because I miss this world, the more I think about it. The dress I'm wearing right now shows who I really am. After that, Rosalie didn't say a single word at all. For the next 10 seconds, she begins to clap her hands, surprising the two Twilights. Then the other scientists begin to clap as well after hearing everything from Princess Twilight. Rosa Nobel walked up to the Princess of Friendship to give her a hug. You're more than a princess, even if you're not like us, Rosalette smiled. Princess Twilight is now the one who's speechless in confusion, while human Twilight didn't think her plan would ever pass the possible risk of spreading news. What do you mean? Princess Twilight asked when Rosalette broke the hug. If I was in your place, I would feel the same way. It's like being stranded on the moon for days, light years away from Earth. You have a heart that you care more about your friends in your life, and I think it's a pleasure to meet you in person, knowing that the Twilight I met. She then turns to human Twilight, which got her by surprise. Is a good friend. This moment was nothing more than sweet words from a lady who loves the solar system. Human Twilight, for the first time on this vacation, went into tears of joy. She never had this in mind at all, and the fact it turned out so great, it ended up being one of the best days in her life. She ran up to her princess counterpart with a hug, while her idol is impressed. Princess Twilight accepts the hug as everything has come out in front of people who are into the solar system. In fact, if she's ever in this predicament again, she's fearless to show her profile to anyone in this world. For the next 20 minutes, the Twilights, Rosa and Nobel, and the guests are eating cake after the chefs brought them to the party. Princess Twilight told so many stories in her life back in Equestria in front of many scientists. Rosa loved every single bit of information she heard from the Princess of Friendship. While she isn't an expert on princesses or the fantasies of different lands, the stories gave her inspiration, something she usually do to people like human Twilight. I gotta say, Rosa commented after eating a piece of her cake, Equestria must be a great place. Trust me, it's a much bigger land when you travel to places, Princess Twilight responded. By the way, human Twilight chimed in, if you're going to request to come over, my friend already have 5 people at this point. It's okay, besides I have other things that are important in my life, Rosa smiled. Yeah, just like me, Princess Twilight scratched on the back of her head while blushing. The people laughed from Twilight's response while her counterpart grinned. But I still want some history involving Equestria. Are there history books? Sure, I will mind Sunset Shimmer about it, so when she enters in my world, I'll give her one of the history books, and she will give it to you. Thanks, it really means so much to me. Just when it's getting close to nighttime, it was time for Rosa and her guests to go to the theater. After watching Trixie's performance, they're going to be watching the movie they've been waiting for since they got here. The Twilights decided to join since they were more than welcome to watch a movie about space. And as for Princess Twilight, her relationship with Rosa and Nobel will grow into a close connection. Human Twilight now has 2 things she likes combined. Wherever there's a chance for a counterpart to come over, she might want to meet Rosa again while also discussing what they love the most, and Princess Twilight is more than happy to learn more of the solar system with a famous scientist. Love Fashion Explaining. After watching the movie, the sky has turned pitch black with shooting stars. The Twilights remembered that they agreed with Ragamuffin to have a conversation tonight. When they left the theater, they encountered him by the pool when he was waiting. They decided to have a conversation in Rarity's room to get this whole misunderstanding over with. They walked down the hallway until they stopped by Rarity and Applejack's cabin. You wait here, Human Twilight turned her head to the employee. No problem, Ragamuffin replied patiently. Twilight knocked on the door, to which Rarity immediately pulled the Twilights inside her door without making any eye contact on Ragamuffin. Rarity, will you please stop doing that? Princess Twilight retorted. She's been feeling like this for hours, Applejack saying on her mattress. What took you two so long? Rarity reacting in stress. We were watching the movie with Rosa and Nobel, Human Twilight answered. We're sorry, okay? Is he waiting outside? Yes, he is. Will you just calm down? Rarity can't handle the pressure anymore. On the second day on the cruise was a long day with her. Applejack tried to help her by relaxing or doing the activities, but it wasn't enough to keep her fashionista friend under control. Let me invite him inside and you can talk to him, Princess Twilight placing her hand on Rarity's shoulder. She leaves the cabin to remind Ragamuffin to come inside. Rarity, Applejack, and Human Twilight all took a seat on the mattress to prepare for the meeting. When Ragamuffin walked inside, Rarity can't delay the inevitable anymore. After 3 months of dealing with the same issue again and again, she has to set things once and for all with the one she used to love. Hello, Rarity, Ragamuffin waved at Rarity. He's still using his accent, which again caught Rarity's attention, as if he's hiding something from her. As Princess Twilight and Ragamuffin took a seat on the second mattress in the room, the princess starts the first move. So, you are Rarity's assistant, right? She looked into Ragamuffin. Yes, she did. She told me she'll pay me double, he smiled. Well, I only did that because... Rarity tried to make the next move, but her blush from before returned. Applejack took notice as she covers for her. My friend has a crush on you. Ragamuffin made a frown. This was so unexpected, he never thought he would ever be in a love relationship from a girl who had feelings. Why do you think that? It's mostly because of the way you talk, Human Twilight replied. This made Ragamuffin understand what is going on now. Oh, so it all makes sense now. He turned off his accent as his normal voice kicks in, which supplies the gauze. Hey, you're talking in your normal voice, Applejack blinked. Yes, it's true. I was doing an accent every day 24/7. Rarity then stand up from her mattress with a serious look on her face. Why? The girls all turned their full attention on Ragamuffin to get the true answer. Ragamuffin can see what he's gained himself into. While he never told anyone about this, he knew someone would find out about it. He took a deep breath as he tries to be serious with the girls. I always talk in this accent because I'm always part of college plays. I give newcomers inspiration all because of the accent I always use. But why do you always do it every time you talk to someone, including Rarity? Princess Twilight asked. It's one of the hardest accents I have ever experienced. If I don't do it all the time, I might have forgotten how to pronounce it. After he spoke his truth to the girls, they can see who the real Ragamuffin really is. Nothing more than a college boy who's also an employee on the cruise. The Twilights and Applejack have no words to describe what they heard, but Rarity can handle the truth from Ragamuffin. However, she's still not happy at all. Do you have any idea how much I feel about you? More, Ragamuffin guessed. Way more than you think, she gets into her face. It was the first time I have fallen in love. Rarity's blush has grown more on her cheeks. She had to let it out at some point and it finally paid off. Unfortunately, Ragamuffin isn't phased whatsoever. I never thought my accent would be so effective towards you. I never met a person who would feel this way about me. I guess I went into something I never see every day. A girl who's in love with you, Princess Twilight added. Yes. The Princess of Friendship can see the situation Rarity went through, similar to how she feels about Flash Sentry now after the talk she had with him back on the beach last year. Ever since then, she had to move on the tough love way, and now she's feeling what Rarity is going through. She doesn't want her to feel heartbroken after this night is over. She stands up and pushes the two away from each other. Rarity, Ragamuffin, she looked as the two stare at her. I suggest you should walk this out. I've been through this before and I don't want my friends to be in the wrong path. Rarity sighed and can see what her princess is doing. You're right, Twilight darling. What does she mean? Ragamuffin asked. You two should start over. As friends, Human Twilight added. It's the only way to make my friend happy and calm, Applejack added. Ragamuffin looked at Rarity again. With a look of disappointment and depression, it's mostly his fault this misunderstanding happened. While he did most of the work to get paid, he didn't mind because he made Rarity happy. Okay, I will do my best. Thank you, Rarity gave Ragamuffin a hug, much to his surprise. I promise I'll be the best friend ever. How about I'll give you for something to drink? I have leftover blueberry juice in my fridge. That's a good idea, Applejack agreed. As Rarity broke the hug, she and Ragamuffin left the cabin, leaving the Twilights and Applejack alone. They're happy they settled this after for so long now that Rarity can continue on with her life without love getting in the way. Hey Applejack, Princess Twilight spoke. Yes, Sugar Cube? Am I the only one who thought that Ragamuffin looks like you, except he's a boy? Human Twilight giggled at her counterpart while Applejack rolled her eyes. Is it really a surprise to you? Rainbows in the morning. The morning of day 3 arrives with the sun rising above the cruise. The weather is perfect, and with only a few clouds in the sky, not to mention there's no way of any disasters will happen for the rest of the vacation. The two Rainbow Dashers woke up from their cabin as they get dressed for another day together, but by the time they left the room, they noticed something in the hallways. Dash, what time is it? Pony Dash asked. It's almost 7 o'clock, Human Dash looking at a watch. Why do you want to know? There's not a lot of people here. Sunset Shimmer told me that tons of people fill the hallways every morning. Human Dash can see what her counterpart is talking about. You're right, usually people would get breakfast before doing anything on this cruise. When they walked out the door that leads to the port, they saw tens of people setting up a party. Just when they thought everything was too quiet, all of that is gone in the outdoors. Hello, two dashes. Pinkie Pie popped by the two rainbows. Pinkie, Human Dash reacted. What's going on? Point Dash asked. We're setting up a party for Princess Twilight. Pinkie Pie jumped in happiness. The two Rainbow Dashes are confused on what's going on. During the times they come across their friends, they barely spend time with them because they always hang out by themselves. In order to get an explanation, they tried to find where Sunset Shimmer is at. They saw a scene setting up the music speakers that are connected to a phone, along with our other friends, helping on the other equipment. Sunset, Human Dash spoke to Sunset's attention. Why are you throwing a party for Princess Twilight? Sunset signed to herself. You two really didn't talk to any of us ever since this vacation started, did you? The two Dashes made awkward looks after all the time they have 2 days ago. Yeah, we really got carried away, Pony Dash scratched on the back of her head. Sunset wanted to set things right, but she's in a good mood today and it's important for her friend. She stopped doing what she's doing and tries to be clear with the two Dashes. Look, my friend Twilight really wants to impress her counterpart by throwing this party she had in mind for weeks. And sorry if this feels pushy, but can you two just spend one day with us today? You mean throwing this party? Yes. Human Dash wanted to do something else, but she needs to understand she has a couple more days left until the cruise heads back to shore. Even though she's doing better than before, it doesn't help her friends that they want to hang out with her. Sunset, I appreciate where you're coming from, but you never told me anything about the surprise party we're throwing for Princess Twilight. I just got up an hour ago and I'm going to be in charge. I looked at everything on my schedule to make sure our princess friend is happy. Sorry this morning got me carried away. Then Fluttershy walked up to Sunset after she finished setting up the pool for Leo. Sunset, do you want me to wake them up? Fluttershy wondered. In a few more minutes, Sunset answered before turning her attention back to the rain brooms. Can you please join us just for this party alone? You can have your time back tomorrow. But Sunset, Human Dash retorted until her counterpart steps in. Rainbow, it's not going to hurt us, she replied. You showed me everything about you, and I think today I should see what this world's idea of party is. Both Sunset and Fluttershy found Pony Dash's decision better than her human counterparts. Then you should at least help us. Fluttershy takes Dash's hand. No problem. After all, I know how to use my hands. Pony Dash smiled. Just when Human Dash is about to stop her counterpart, Sunset stops her. Rainbow, will you please do this for us? Human Dash signed in the position she's in now, but she did remember the talk she had with Sunset the other night. Her counterpart still forgave her the mistakes she did, and so far, nothing bad has happened this time. While she did eat some of the food in the dining hall with her friends, she was too occupied with Pony Dash to even bother talking to them. Okay, I'll be part of that party. Sunset smiled as she gives Rainbow Dash a hug. I'll guarantee you will love this party. Like what Pinkie said every time she throws one. Then again, Pinkie Pie popped in between Sunset and Rainbow much to their surprise. But you know it's true! Cruise Party Mania. With the party all ready to go, Fluttershy came into the hallways and found the cabin where the Twilights are staying. By the time she walked by the door, Human Twilight already has her uniform on, but her princess counterpart is still sleeping. She knocked on the door, which gave Twilight the cue on the party that they have planned. When Fluttershy headed back by the pool, Human Twilight woke up her counterpart. Princess Twilight, after getting out of bed, put on her uniform. When they left their cabin, Human Twilight takes her counterpart to where her friends are at. So Twilight, what do you want to eat for breakfast? Princess Twilight asked. We're not going to the dining hall, Human Twilight replied. We're going to the pool first. Princess Twilight thought she's supposed to have breakfast every morning before doing any of the activities on the cruise. Not to mention she really needs to make up some of the things she ran into since she stepped foot on the cruise. After what she's been through over the last 2 days, she wonders how anything will top it. Once they walk up to the door that leads to the pool, Princess Twilight was about to grab the handle, but her counterpart stops her. Twilight, allow me. What's going on? Human Twilight happily opened the door which caused a confetti of colors blast from the door with Pinkie Pie hopping in front of the Princess of Friendship. Surprise! The hyperactive party animal cheered, which caused Princess Twilight to gasp. Pinkie, what is going on? It's a party on the cruise, Human Twilight replied. Let us show you. She grabbed her hand with Pinkie by her side as they take the princess to the pool. Everything by the pool is decorated in beach-style shores, with glitter clams by the edges and tons of sea animal tubes. Viral has the DJ set up for the music for all the passengers to enjoy the many styles of music. This party looks really interesting, Princess Twilight commented. What do you mean by that? Pinkie Pie asked. Well, I've seen so many parties from other youth, but not like this. When they tried to find where their friends are at, Twilight saw the food display on the table. During her time eating the dining hall, hot dogs, hamburgers, and sodas were never part of the menu. Life as a princess is always tough, huh? Human Twilight commented. Yeah, I guess. Princess Twilight rolled her eyes with an awkward smile. They found where Sunset and the Yellows are at. After setting the party up, they all took a break, drinking ice water from the cooler. Twilight's Pinkie, Sunset called. You came just in time, Pony Dash cheered. Rainbow Dash, Princess Twilight blinked. That's right, this party won't be 20% cooler without me. Pony Dash took a sip of a water bottle. Where's our Rainbow Dash? Human Twilight asked. The other girls didn't make a response whatsoever to Twilight's question. Instead, Fluttershy pointed at the tables where Rainbow is sitting. Let's just say this is the first time she's actually hanging out with us. I can tell. I've been seeing her with my friend all the time, Princess Twilight commented. At least she's better than what she did 3 months ago, Pinkie added. But I doubt she will ever do any of the activities we have, Rarity added. Speaking of that, what activities does this party have? Princess Twilight asked. This made Sunset grin with her friends giggling. After 2 days of showing Twilight everything on the cruise, they saved the best for last. Let's just say it will be a party you will never forget. Sunset laughed. Then Lyra and Dopey, who are in their swimsuits, walk up to Princess Twilight, poking on her shoulders. Hey Twilight, Lyra smiled, which made the princess turn around. Did you make your decision yet? Dopey asked. Sorry, not yet, Twilight answered. This made Lyra and Dopey a bit disappointed, but it doesn't stop them on the party that just began. Oh, well, do you want to go swimming with us? Lyra offered. Princess Twilight never went swimming ever since she went on board. She still had the same swimsuit from her time on the beach last year that is still in her backpack in her cabin. Sure, I'll get my swimsuit on. I'll join you. I haven't gone swimming yet, Human Twilight smiled as they head back to their apartment. Lyra and Dopey made their way to the pool where some of the passengers in their swimsuits are enjoying themselves. They and Viral still need to be more patient to wait for Princess Twilight's decision. So, Sunset? Applejack asks as she puts sunscreen on. Did they got the whole track set up? Oh yes, Sunset grinned, and the princess is going to be part of it. Wave race in the ocean. After the Twilights put on their swimsuits in their cabin, they head back to the pool where all the people are at. They enter the pool where Lyra, Dopey, and other passengers are enjoying it. Water Lily is also in the pool, which made Princess Twilight happy. After the story she discussed days ago, this is the only opportunity for her to play with a child, but it's not going to last long. With Sunset having something big going on behind the cruise, it will make this vacation way bigger than last time. There's a big curtain blocking the ocean from the back. The employees spent all night to make the huge activity when they stopped the boat in the middle of the ocean. Hey Twilight, Princess Twilight asked, why is there a current blocking the bag? It's a surprise, something we didn't do all last vacation, Human Twilight smiled. Just when the princess was about to ask further questions, Sunset, who's by viral in the DJ area, has a microphone in her hand as she prepares for her announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, she called to everyone's attention, you wouldn't believe how much money we've got since those last 3 months. Granted, our cruise sank underwater, but that's besides the point. Human Dash, who's still sitting by herself, is listening to Sunset's whole announcement. She's still upset that she won't be able to hang out with her pony Counterpart, but what she's about to hear will make her day in the party. After performing, our band, the Rainbooms, was on tour after we got back from the crisis that happened. We used the extra money to do something that wasn't been done before. Rarity, do your thing. Rarity used her droids around her neck to transform into her pony-up dress with a life jacket on. She floated above the curtain and pulled it away, revealing the sight. Princess Twilight couldn't believe what she saw when she saw the cruise and everything it had to offer. It would never had the budget for it, but it did. Human Dash's jaw dropped when she saw the ocean. There were 4 jet skis in the ocean, one in normal green, the second in pink with little stripes, the third in sparkly blue, and the fourth in rainbow colors. Rainbow made 2 big-sized boats she also used to save the passengers last vacation for her friends to get a better view from the left and right. As it turns out, it's a watercraft race with multiple buoys in the water. Waves that will cause the jet ski to lift in the air, along with a line to prevent people from leaving the track. It may be a simple circle for competitors to navigate, but at least there's no sea predators in sight, making the location safe for now. Holy Celestia, Princess Twilight commented in shock. That's the funnest ocean race arena I have ever seen, Water Lily gasped. As you can see, our talented employees set up a wave race for 8 people to be part of, with 2 showing one of the jet skis. They've been thinking about this last month, and luckily, Twilight did a research of the Pacific Ocean and there's no sign of danger at all. Sunset gives her best friend a thumbs up, which made Human Twilight give a thumbs up to her. This is the only day we're going to have this activity, so this will be closed an hour before sunset. The people cheered in excitement for the brand new exclusive water activity on the cruise. Just when they're about to head back days later, Princess Twilight is speechless on the display of the wave race. So Twilight, what do you think? Human Twilight smirked. It looks like something you dreamed about, except this is miles away from what I thought, Princess Twilight reacted. Oh really? Applejack chimed in. During the friendship games, the final events had a constructed racetrack by Canterlot. This made Princess Twilight and Point Dash made dumbfounded looks, as if they didn't see a lot in this world. I guess even real things happen in Sunset's world, Point Dash commented in realization, even though I wasn't part of those situations. Even non-magical things can happen, Fluttershy smiled. Hey Twilight, you two should be part of this activity, Peekaboo hopped in joy. Sorry, I'm not an expert on using watercrafts, Human Twilight scratched on the back of her head. Then who's going to use the drifters? Princess Twilight asked. She wanted to be part of the wave race, but she, being the pony, cannot drive. Then the door slammed open, revealing Human Dash in her swimsuit, armed with a cap on her head. She uses her joy powers of speed to rush by her friends, which causes them to collapse on the floor. I want to be part of the first ever wave race! She screamed at the top of her lungs. You have one now, darling, Rarity lowered herself to Princess Twilight. It took time for 8 of the watercraft competitors to put on their helmets along with their life jackets and jump into the ocean, swimming their way to the jet skis. Meanwhile, Rarity took her friends and others to 2 of the boats she made out of her own powers. She moved one of them to the left and right, giving them the best view of the race. The only ones who didn't go on Rarity's boats are Sunset Shimmer and Viral Scratch, who stayed on a boat where Sunset does some of the commentary while Viral is in of the music. Rainbow Dash and Princess Twilight are going to be a team on the Rainbow Watercraft, while they're facing Flat Century and Sandalwood on the normal green jet ski. Lyra Heartstrings and Octavia Melody on a pink and yellow striped jet ski, and finally Buck Belks and Dopey Hoops on a sparkly blue jet ski. The race is about to start in 30 minutes, Sunset reminding the audience. This is going to be the best activity ever, White Twilight. Human Dash smiled, with Princess Twilight holding on from behind. Yeah, but are you going to go on an adrenaline rush when this race starts? The princess asked in concern. Just hold on tight, we will win this race easy. After all, this is the first time we're hanging out as friends. Princess Twilight remembered that out of all of her friends she at least spent time with, Rainbow Dash was the last person she didn't hang out yet. Even if it's due to her pony caliber keeping Human Dash occupied, she didn't think this moment would ever happen in her vacation. Royalty flew herself in front of the watercrafts, takes out a big green red flag as she's ready to start the race. On your marks, Sunset called from a microphone. Get set, go! Royalty waved her green flag down as the drifters moved their jet skis. Lyra turned on the speakers with exciting water racing music she made with her own remix style. The crowds in Royalty's boats cheer on the competitors driving on the track that's set up. The circle is medium-sized to make the race have 3 laps at least. Princess Twilight can't handle the speed from the jet ski Rainbow is handling. Unlike surfboards she used with the shadow boats, which she has to use her own speed, the velocity on the watercraft is complicated, especially how it turns. It's like riding a bike except on water and not on land. The behind Lyra and Octavia, who have to lift up from a wave, made a cool trick of Lyra holding on to her partner's shoulders as she lifted her legs up in the air, which caused the audience to cheer. That was impressive, Fluttershy taking a picture on her phone in amazement. I know, we're the luckiest people in the world, Pinkie smiled. If only the waterboats can do watercrafts, Pony Dash said to herself, which made the rest of the people gave her awkward looks. This made Rainbow Dash took notice of the reaction around her. So they can teach me how to drive. Hello, I'm a pony. We already know, we just never live our lives as ponies, Applejack replied. Back at the race, Rainbow and Twilight are neck and neck by Buck and Dopey as they make the second turn of the track. Another wave lifted Buck's jet ski up with Dopey lifting mini flakes representing her and Buck's face on it, which gave another reaction from the crowd. Come on, Twilight, this was the second wave, why didn't you do a trick? Rainbow whined. I'm not like you, I only use my legs for walking, not for tricks, Princess Twilight shouted back. Meanwhile, Flash and Sandalwood passed the starting line. To lap 2, Sunset shouted. Flash, Sentry, and Sandalwood are taking the lead. The other racers managed to pass the line as they tried to catch up with the leading team. With Princess Twilight still preventing herself from letting go of Rainbow Dash, she continues to watch her enemies. When Flash's jet ski lifted off from the next wave, he poses with his fingers, since he's a guitar player, as Sandalwood moves his legs to the left. With the crowd cheering, Princess Twilight is starting to feel nervous about her odds. How am I going to perform myself like this? The pros! Just when she's about to use hope of winning, she saw Buck and Dopey performing another trick after another wave lifted the jet ski. However, when they landed back in the water, they ended the trick too late, as they splashed into the ocean. Both Buck and Dopey popped their heads in the surface, with them spitting out the water from their mouths. Buck, Bilks, and Dopey Hoops have been wiped out, Sunset shouted as Rainbow and Twilight passed by them. Perhaps I'm too ahead of myself, Princess Twilight thought again. Rainbow hates to lose as she's behind Lyra and Octavia. Even if she has to face the fact that Twilight can't do tricks, she's not having any block stop her from victory. With the wave lifting her and Twilight up, she uses the thrust to her speed to pass by Lyra and Octavia, taking second place. And taking second place, Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle, Sunset announced. Lyra and Octavia couldn't believe what they saw. Even though it didn't take them long to get distracted, they know they can never pass Rainbow Dash at her own speed. And she's not even using her joy powers. Rainbow and Flash's team making another turn as they pass the line again. In the third and final lap, commenced as Rainbow and Twilight are right behind
Flash and
Sandalwood. Sunset Shield. With the final lap taking full circle, Rainbow and Twilight are right behind Flash and Sandalwood as they make the next turn. Flash can see his enemies catching up to him, but it made him bluff. Face it, guys, it's every team for themselves, Sandalwood boasted. Even princesses from other worlds, Flash taunted. However, this didn't faze Rainbow at all. She heard the same competitive insults wherever it happens, and she always puts her foot down. As she and Flash drift by all the boys, it gave Rainbow's jet ski more velocity. She needs velocity in order to win without her powers, which makes her a better athletic person. When they get to the second to last turn of the race, Rainbow is right by Flash. As she turns her watercraft, it splashed on Flash and Sandalwood, causing them to use the positions on the jet ski, splashing into the water, which made the crowd shocked in disbelief. Holy cow! Sunset reacted in excitement. Rainbow and Twilight just caused Flash and Sandalwood to wipe out as they take the lead. Our friends are going to win, Pinkie Pie spoke from her cheerful voice. I knew it all along, Point Dash smiled. You can do it, Twilight.
Human Twilight,
giving her Counterpart the support she deserves, with Water Lily in her arms. As Rainbow Dash and Princess Twilight make the final turn, they see Rarity lifting her finished flag in the air. Then they come across another wave, slightly bigger than the ones they witnessed. In a split second, Princess Twilight found the perfect way to do a trick of her own. Seconds before they touched the wave, Princess Twilight let go of Rainbow. She took off her helmet and life jacket. Twilight, what are you doing? Rainbow Dash asked. Princess Twilight didn't respond as she gets on her shoulders with her bare feet. With the wave lifting the jet ski in the air, Twilight jumped off of Rainbow as she's in the air in front of her friends in the distance. Her hair is still wet after she went swimming 10 minutes ago in the pool, which causes drops of water off of her. She and Rainbow still passed the finish line as Rarity lifted her flag up and down. Princess Twilight closed her eyes with the thrust of her jump caused her to pose with both of her arms stretching from side to side as her hair releasing more drops of shining water. As her friends and passengers took pictures at the right time, she does a cannonball and make a big splash, causing the audience to get wet. Twilight! Rainbow Dash shouted in concern. After she stopped her watercraft, she dives into the water to rescue the Princess of Friendship. She grabbed her hand as they get back to the surface. When they pop their heads from the water, they get a standing ovation from her friends. Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle are the winners of the wave race, Sunset finishing her commentary. That was amazing, Applejack commented while she squeezes her head to get the water out. And Twilight's trick is beautiful, Fluttershy wrapped her fingers together. I couldn't agree more, Human Twilight placing her hand on her hip. It's always true, Water Lily turning up after what she saw from her babysitter. When Lyra and Octavia are taking second place, they and the other teams loved the outstanding performance from Princess Twilight. They would never take the risk to make a trick that would cause them to drown. I think I'm starting to fall in love with Twilight all over again, Flash being mesmerized. Okay, you seriously need to let it go, Sandalwood retorted. Twilight, why don't you just hold on to me? Human
Dash replied
in confusion. You know you could have drowned. This made Princess Twilight giggle in delight. Hey, I still did a trick for our friends, making you the only one who didn't act like a show-off. Rainbow blushed. I guess I was too focused on winning more on tricks. The two girls laughed as they gave each other a hug as they celebrate their victory, while Rarity helps them with another boat she made, allowing Twilight and Rainbow to get on. Dancing and singing with the sunset. After Twilight and her friends are done with the wave race, they move to the front of the cruise where the huge clam stage is at. With the watercraft still being displayed for anyone to have a turn, all the dancing and singing are taking place not far but slightly quiet spot for passengers to bust a move. You two are incredible! Sunset wrapping her arms around Princess Twilight and Human Dash. Don't mention it, Rainbow Dash grinned. At least it made me satisfied. I'm not satisfied at all, Princess Twilight replied with a serious look that got her friend's attention, until she also made a grin. I'm more than that. Tell me about it, Applejack commented. You jumped off of Rainbow Dash, then you flew into the air with your eyes closed. You were like a mermaid with the way your hair whooshed, Fluttershy added. With a big camper at the end, Pinkie squealed. Okay, we get it, darlings, Rarity stepping in another friendly moment. As much as we would love to adore what our beloved princess had done, I think it's time that we start our next party activity. She pointed at Viral Scratch, who has the DJ set up by the stage. Viral gave the fashionista a thumbs up as she's ready to get this party underway. We're going to be having a sing and dance latch party, Human Twilight declared. A sing and dance yacht party, Princess Twilight blinked. We're going to dance and sing, silly, Pinkie Pie giggled. Sunset hands out a list of dance songs to our princess friend. We have 10 songs to choose, and when you make your decision, we sing on stage. Princess Twilight only danced once in this world, and that was in the fall formal. However, due to her poor capabilities, she dances like a pony and not an actual human being. She may be catching up on her friends, but she never listened to any of those songs when she was away in Equestria. Girls, I would love to be part of this, but ever since we stopped the sirens, I never listened to any of your new songs, Princess Twilight replied as she looks at the list. Her friends around them came to a realization. They may have performed in the Crystal Cave in Equestria Land and the last cruise vacation, but the princess friend is way behind in the band. Even Human Twilight totally forgot about her counterpart's small issue when she's too focused on the party. Out of all the girls, Sunset Shimmer is the most disappointed. While she did show her Trixie's magic act, it wasn't enough for her. Then an idea came to her. Twilight, she walked up to the princess, you don't have to dance or sing at all the songs. This made the Rainbows gasp in shock. But Sunset, Human Twilight said, however, you can only do one song with me. Princess Twilight became surprised from her friend's offer. Other than the time she went to Trixie's magic act, she didn't do anything with Sunset Shimmer. Only one song? The princess asked. Yes, I can teach you the moves and lyrics in my cabin. Sunset grabs Twilight's hand as she takes her to her cabin. You girls can start without us. We'll be back. The girls felt happy that Sunset found a solution for the princess friend. As Sunset and Twilight leave, Viral prepares her set while the others begin the first song. It took all the time Sunset needed to show Princess Twilight all the moves and listen to the song's lyrics multiple times. It was the only way to have Twilight mesmerize everything. Of course, she also wants to make sure Twilight doesn't embarrass herself at the amazing performance she made in the Wave Race with Rainbow Dash. When they're all done, they left the cabin to head back to sing and dance party. During the party, Pinkie Pie and Applejack finished the 5 to 9 performance, which gave a great reaction from her friends. All of the performances are nothing but entertainment and fun. This was one of the activities they've been waiting for ever since they went on the cruise days ago. They love the dance and lyrics that even if it's not their tone, they can still join on the experience of what they hear from Viral speakers. Just in time, Sunset Shimmer and Princess Twilight returned, being prepared for the song they agreed to do together. Hey, Sunset and Twilight are back, Lyra pointed, which everyone turned their attention at. So what song do you two want to sing? Rarity asked. And dance, Pinkie added. We're going to sing, Sunset responded. And dance, Twilight smiled. I'm on the lack, the two answered. The girls and others found it the best choice since they sung it, dedicated to the vacation weeks to go during the Rainbows concert. Viral, get the song set up, Sunset shouted as she and Twilight gets on stage. Princess Twilight can see tons of people watching her more than in the fall formal, almost like she's entering a dancing contest for the first time. The clamp stage makes her and Sunset entering the finals of what could be the most challenging task ever. Viral played the song as the music is coming out of the speakers. Twilight and Sunset stepped one of their feet to dance to the beat of the music. While Twilight took the time she needs to understand the lyrics of I'm on the lack, she also needs to handle the movements when she's dancing at the music.
Hey, hey, check our new ride. The wind is blowing and we're feeling real fly. Me and my girls are pumped up. That's right.
Sunset having sung her part of the song, the lyrics came out of viral speakers. Even if her friends did sing their parts, this was still a two-partner tone between the princess and her friend. With Twilight trying to dance to the beat of the music, her tone singing begins. During her lyrics, she danced at the beat of the music. It wasn't her best, but when she saw Sunset by her side, she tries to copy her movements, similar to what her friends did in the music video. As the song continues, the friends are impressed from Sunset and Twilight's performance. They're getting close to the middle of the song, and as they continue to sing more of the lyrics. Both Sunset and Twilight raise their hands up in the air as they take their steps at the edge of the stage. They press their backs together with their eyes on their friends. They move their shoulders up and down at the beat of the music. Princess Twilight is starting to enjoy herself more than she thought. After singing her parts of the song, she's happy that she got the chance to sing with her best friend. When they get close to the final lyrics of the song, all of her friends join in. With the music wrapping up the song, Vi stopped the song in the speakers, adding Twilight and Sunset's tone. All of her friends cheered at the two with the performance they did. Princess Twilight became relieved she did a decent enough job. For one song she did with Sunset Shimmer, she was more than happy. Her vacation with her Mill War friends been a blast, so much she's thinking about returning again. As they get off the clam stage, all of her friends gathered around. "That was awesome!" the two Rainbow Dashers shouted in adrenaline. "You were pretty good for singing one of our new songs," Fluttershy commented. "If only you listened to all of our songs before, you would have sung more with us," Pinkie Pie added. "Alright, we can all agree that Princess Twilight hasn't catched up on a lot of things," Sunset replied. "But that doesn't mean you girls should feel disappointed. I sang one song and that should be enough." Princess Twilight closed her eyes with a smile on her face. "You're right," her human counterpart wraps her arm around her shoulders. "Now who's next?" As the next two of partners get on stage, Twilight and Sunset stand next to her friends to watch them sing and dance. The final decision. The final activity on the list is of course a Rain Boom's concert. Princess Twilight isn't going to be part of the group, she is going to be sitting in the front row to watch her friends perform. When she's placing chairs in front of the stage, 5 people are watching her. They are the same people she talked to about going to Equestria: Lyra Heartstrings, Dopey Hooves, Viral Scratch, Desert Sage, and Orange Sunrise. 2 days while they enjoyed themselves, they can't handle the wait anymore. Even with a couple more days until they come back to shore, they need the answer from the one who lives in Equestria. "Are we sure we need to talk to her about this?" Orange asked. "I don't want to wait anymore," Dopey whined. "Okay, can we please keep an open mind?" Lyra replied. "I'm sure Twilight made up her mind. Let's just calm down and talk to her," Desert finished. During this moment, Violet didn't say a word at all, but she made a frown on her face. What Twilight has in mind couldn't either make her happy or disappointed. As the 5 girls took their time walking up to the princess, Twilight noticed them when she finished the 3rd row of chairs. "Lyra, Desert, Dopey?" she asked. "You're surprised?" Orange replied. "I know this is a bit early, but," Dopey crossing her arms in concern, "have I made my decision if I allow you in Equestria?" the Princess of Friendship guessed. Lyra shook her head from Twilight's response. "I understand this is still early, but we've been talking about all of this in our cabins," Lyra said. "We will promise we will follow any rules you have for us," Desert added. Princess Twilight stopped what she's doing and took her time to think of an idea of taking people from this world to her world. During the times she helped Sunset lead the passengers months ago, it was a struggle of course, but they managed to fix both worlds' barriers. She did talk to one of them about her castle, not to mention about her being the princess counterpart of the Twilight. As they head back to the Mia World, they finally understand what Equestria is. While they keep it a secret from the ones who wasn't part of the cruise, they know that the other option is to ask Princess Twilight if they can come over if she does appear in the Mia World. When they saw Princess Twilight relaxing right by them, it was the only chance for them to ask her. While she needs time to make her decision, those 2 days of 48 hours gave them a hard time to wait. Princess Twilight wanted to make her friends happy, but she wants to do the right thing by keeping both worlds apart. Having counterparts coming over to Equestria will either lead to madness or chaos. Girls, Twilight made a response which caught all 5 of the girls' attention. Over those 3 months, I'm proud that you kept all this to yourselves, but for me, I'm still scared of what could happen. The idea of us bumping into ourselves, Lyra asked, or mistaking the ponies who live there, Dobby added. Yes, Twilight replied, but if we can work this out the easy way, I want all of you to sleep in my castle when you're in Equestria. That way, you can avoid any trouble since my castle is a highly private place. And in order to make things a whole lot easier, I might find your other selves to make things more balanced, and I'll make sure they will keep this as a secret. The 5 girls slowly grow a smile upon their face. So does that mean Desert X until the princess finished for her? Yes, you all can come to Equestria. Lyra and Dobby made a hug with each other while Desert and Orange clapped their hands. Viola then walked up to the Princess of Friendship as she lifted out her hand for a fist pump with Twilight. Twilight gives Viola a fist pump along with a hug. Viola is really happy that she's gained a chance to go to a world she went to briefly and wonders what her counterpart does for music. As they broke the hug, the Wayne concert is about to begin with tons of people sitting in the worlds Twilight set up. So, are you all ready to watch the concert my friends are performing? Twilight offered. You bet we are, Lyra cheered, but we still need to find a spot to sit. Dobby looked at the walls as they getting packed up from top to bottom, left and right, but Twilight found a solution. Why don't you sit with me in the front row? Really? Orange flinched. My friends can't watch the show when they're performing, so why should I waste those chairs? Twilight takes her friends to the seats she set up. There are 6 open seats, enough for Twilight, Lyra, Dobby, Viola, Desert, and Orange to sit on. They also saw her friend Pony Dash sitting at the end of the first row. Twilight, the rainbows are about to begin, she called, with Twilight and the
5
soon-to-be visitors sat by her as the rainbows began their performance on stage. The Counterpart's future. The sun sets above the orange ocean of the sea. 4 girls, 2 of which are the same from the other 2, watching the sea in the distance. One who's a princess while her friend is an athletic wonderbolt, while their counterparts are a scientist and also an athletic. It was the best vacation they had, seeing everything in the cruise inside and out, and doing every activity there is to do on the boat. Princess Twilight and Pony Dash are satisfied after what they did when they got on this cruise. I had never had this so much fun in a long time, Pony Dash looking at the sea. If only I brought my friends along, they would feel the same way, Princess Twilight added. As they continue to watch the sunset over the ocean, 2 of their counterparts are watching with a grin on their faces. If their lives aren't as different like ours, maybe they would have come, Human Twilight replied. Especially the other way around, Human Dash commented. This made the 2 pony counterparts turned around from the statements they just heard. They walked up to their counterparts with a smile on their faces. While they still have a lot of time before they head back, they had all the fun they need from this vacation. Twilight Sparkle, Princess Twilight said. Rainbow Dash, Pony Dash added. Yes, both Human Twilight and Dash replied. If only I was part of everything that happened when I was in Equestria, I would understand everything about this world's life, the Princess of Friendship responded. While I never went to this world when Twilight was trying to find her crown, I'm glad I took this opportunity to go on this trip, the athletic pony counterpart expressing his thoughts. The human counterparts didn't make a single word after they heard the feedback from their friends. Human Twilight knew days before this vacation happened, her princess counterpart would have a very good time on the cruise. She's also happy that she spent all the time she wanted from her everything that happened after the friendship games was over. Here's something I would like to say, Human Twilight spoke in her voice. I'm glad that this was the vacation we've got, unlike the one we had 3 days ago. No magic corrupting our time, no awful weather, and best of all, I finally got to know everything about you. Something I want this vacation to have, unlike the last one. She gave her counterpart her sparkling purple eyes as it's reflecting from the orange sun with the wind blowing in her hair. Princess Twilight's heart warmed from the words she heard from her counterpart. Everything she heard was true. Her vacation wouldn't be complete without the princess she came across twice in those bizarre moments. Once after the friendship games, and when they spent time in Equestria for a short amount of time until they head back on the island. Twilight Sparkle, thank you for inviting me, Princess Twilight teared up. Maybe in the future, I might think about coming back for a visit. It doesn't have to be soon. Maybe when something happens, we might give you a message, Human Twilight smiled. Besides, when I got transferred to Canterla High, my friends showed me a lot of things you haven't seen. This made Princess Twilight blush. Okay, whenever you and Sunset come up with something, I might like to be part of it. The two Twilights gave each other a hug, hoping they will meet again after this vacation is over. Oh, I almost forgot, Human Dash placing her hand on her head. That I'm coming home with Twilight, Pony Dash guessed. Yes, I should have shown you what I do while I'm on land and not on the boat. That's like the biggest thing that came in my mind. Human Dash sighed when she remembered something during her times hanging out with Pony Dash. Telling her stories and experiences is one thing, but doing them is the most important thing. She's afraid of the time it would take if her pony counterpart will ever come back, or never again. Then Pony Dash placed her hand on Human Dash's shoulder. I will come back. This made her counterpart a little better. But you're right, that's gonna have to be a later time. You're right. After all, a chapter happens in the future and all it needs is time. Human Twilight said until the two rainbows looked at her. Too soon? Pretty much, Princess Twilight giggled. I'm sure we can work this out somehow. As the two rainbows and two Twilights made a group hug, the sun is no longer in the sky. The night sky has shooting stars and without a cloud in the sky for any bad weather's occurring. Hey Twilights, Sunset shouted, and rainbows, Pinkie Pie added. We're going to have our first ever cruise sleepover party. Care to join? The counterparts looked at each other and smiled. Why else would they say no to an offer from their friends? As they head to the cabin where the party is at, they still have 2 days left until they head back. Even if they did everything on the cruise, they have to wait until the ship returns to shore. But they didn't mind at all, because it was something they wanted the last time they hit the waters, only this time, they have Princess Twilight and Pony Dash. They might think about returning, but they need to have time to tell the story, and when that happens, friendship will always have hope.